Live.
A pleasure phone. No, I got the business phone. I don't have my pleasure phone. What we could do? No, ain't no fucking light bill due.
Oh, the rent ain't late, right?
No, the rent ain't late because mama
if it
got
was,
it.
we would go and get straight, right?
Exactly.
Fuck, man. Damn. Fuck I'ma do now, man. Hustle, 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 hustle. I gotta do now, man. Best. Fuck you what I do best. Light bill due, plus my rent late. Only got enough money, go and get straight. All I know is hustle, 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 hustle. All I know is hustle, 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 hustle. Plus my lady stressing, say she needs some money. I kill y'all niggas for my child go hungry. All I know is hustle, 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 hustle. All I know is hustle, 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 hustle. See, all I know is hustle, hustle, that's all I know. Cause I'm a country boy, straight from them dirt roads. All I know is hustle, 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 hustle. And if I don't talk to you, dog, then I don't trust it. See, I'm a go-getter, nigga, I go and get it. Cause I'm a hot boy, certified weed splitter. All I know is hustle, 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 hustle. Something I inherit from my fucking grandmama. See, I'm a paper chaser, nigga, I chasing paper. I'm trying to make moves, get money like Tony Drapers. All I know is hustle, 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 hustle. And if you cross the line, then my dog and I'm a light bill due, plus my rent late. Only got enough money, go and get straight. All I know is hustle, 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 hustle. All I know is hustle, 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 hustle. Plus my lady stressing, say she needs some money. I kill y'all niggas for my child go hungry. All I know is hustle, 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 hustle. All I know is hustle, 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 hustle. My nigga, I'm a trapper, trapping, that's how I live. I give it all I got and I ain't got no more to give. All I know is hustle, 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 hustle. I kill y'all niggas for my child gotta suffer. See, I'm a swamp nigga, swamp of alligators. I stay away from bitches, snitches and all you haters. All I know is hustle, 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 hustle. I died for my family and I put that on my mother. See, I'm a real nigga, 1,000 is all I been. Only care about the ones, don't care about no friends. All I know is hustle, 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 hustle. I never let you niggas try to play me for no sucker. Light bill due, plus my rent late. Only got enough money, go and get straight. All I know is hustle, 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 hustle. All I know is hustle, 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 hustle. Plus my lady stressing, say she needs some money. I kill y'all niggas for my child go hungry. All I know is hustle, 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 hustle. All I know is hustle, 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 hustle.
Yo, mic check. 1 2 1 2. Shout out to the 5 people in the chat. Hit the like button, man. What's going on, OTK?
Definitely. What's up with you, Renegade? How you?
We coolin', man. We about to have a banger, man. You already know.
You already know. Yeah, man. So, man, you want me to go ahead and start it off, and then we go into it, and we go from there.
Yeah, let's shout out the chat. Seen Barn Dog. So OTK, peace and blessings.
Oh yeah, bet. I send a shout back out to you, babe.
Yeah.
I mean, shout out to you, baby boy. Brother True is in the chat. You know what I'm saying? We back, baby. Round table gang. You know. And shout out to everybody else.
Welcome, or you could get right into it. Don't matter.
I know y'all see the title. Are men and women equal? first of all, let me say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and maybe nighttime for some who might be watching. You know what I mean? Thank y'all for tuning into the best, smallest YouTube channel, you know what I mean, of the day, you know? RTG, man, roundtable, you know what I mean, where everybody opinion matters. Is not really ever no right or wrong with me, because most of my questions are are your personal thoughts, subjective thoughts, but sometimes you have evidence behind it. So, you know, with that being said, um, what me and my brother Jay was talking earlier, and somehow the question came up. You know what I mean? Are men and women equal? And I know when you see the question, you know, the first thing you might automatically say is yes, or the next person might automatically say no. But see, I'm trying to go a little deeper than that. In fact, I just had a conversation with my mom no longer than about 20 minutes ago, and I asked her that question. The first thing she said was her answer. I said, "Oh, okay." So exactly, it's triggering. It triggers a response, and that's what I want. But I also want people to dig a little deeper in that, because when you say are men and women equal, you got to also think about it sociologically, physically, biologically. Maybe you can add law and scripture in it, you know, or we even hear some people that say that what are men, what are women, you know what I mean, with social constructs. You got psychology that can be involved, you know what I mean? So when I ask the question, I want everyone to think before reacting. You know what I mean? Because on the surface, it can appear that we're not equal, but below the surface, maybe we are. So that's how me and Jay came to this question. So with that being said, Jay, my brother, what you think about that?
Yeah, I was I was thinking about this question earlier, and I'm like, well, we got to qualify the words first. What is a man? What is a woman? And then we should know what equal is, right? Like, if I give you $1 and I say, "Yo, can you change this for me into quarters?" How many quarters you gonna give me?
Right, right. We got to break it down to how many quarters equal $1, right?
Right. So if you give me 4 for that, then that's an equal exchange as far as value goes. So
Uh-huh.
I think that when we ask this question, when we ask this question,
Uh-huh.
are men and women equal? There's so many different ways to look at it. So now you have to establish a vantage point and a perspective. Are we talking about, are there the same amount of men and women on the earth? Are they equal in amount? Or are we talking about, are men and women the same height? Okay,
It's
no,
an
maybe it's
open-ended question, of course. Go ahead on there,
all
my
right.
brother. Yes, go
So
ahead.
what, is it population? Is it height? Is it intelligence? Is it, what is it that we're really talking about? So then I said to myself, I know exactly what it is. We're talking about value. Who is more valuable? Is a man more valuable than a woman, or is a woman more valuable than a man? Okay, so now we're
Ooh,
talking about value. To me,
value.
to me, that's
Yes.
what I think it is. I'm setting that vantage point. We're talking about value. And I'm not going to move beyond the point of what is a man and what is a woman. I'm going to go right back to that real quick.
Uh-huh. Go ahead.
The biggest distinguishing factor, we got to talk about the biological differences, or the anatomical differences, the genitalia, right? Off the rip,
Uh-huh.
that creates a clear distinction. Now you got to go in, well, a boy and a girl is not the same thing as a man and a woman. So now there's maturity that's also involved in that. So is that maturation purely physical, societal standard?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm not going to go too far. Now let's get back to the equality thing and the value.
Mhm.
I could think of situations where a man is more valuable than a woman, where they're not
Right,
equal.
right.
I could think of
And then,
situations on the flip side where a woman is more valuable than a man, and they're not equal. So Bernard, let's say I put you on the island, man, and you the general, you the chief over there,
Right.
and y'all capsized and y'all ended up on the island. Only people that survived was 10 women and 2 men. You're one of them, and there's you and there's me. I'm the other guy. All right.
Yeah.
Now we got some medicine, right? Because let's say we the only medicine we got is what we brought with us, and we only got like 1 potion left, and we stuck on this island. You could choose between me, I'm sick, and there's a woman that's sick. Now let's say we're flat out stranded. I'm just creating a hypothetical. We're stranded. We ain't getting off this island for who knows when, and we might have to civilize this place and literally create a new establishment here going forward into the future. We already have a stock of women. It's just you. It is just me. How are we gonna continue this? Who's more valuable in that situation? Me or the woman? Who got it? Who gonna get the potion? Let's say she's old. Let's say she's 80.
Right. And see, now, you know what I mean? The circumstances will have to play a part in that, because if you talking about is just 2 men and it's 10 women and 1 woman gets sick, shit, you know what I mean? Shit, you still got 9 more.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Which is messed up, because at the end of the day, all should be, you know what I mean, saved, or we should be trying to find out how to save all and not even have to be put in that predicament. But let's be for real, predicaments like that actually do arrive, you know.
Exactly.
And
right.
You know what I mean? So that's why I like open-ended questions, because it takes you other places. You know what I mean? Just like all the stuff you brought up just now, you know, I think you hit on a bunch of great points. You know what I mean? Just now, like, you know, the size, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? The height or whatever like that. And all those different variable things.
Let's say we're going to war.
Let's
say we're going to war.
Right.
In that situation, would the man or would they be equally valuable on the battlefield, a man and a woman? Who are you recruiting? Are you going to recruit 100 men, or are you going to recruit 100 women to go battle? So when we talk about this equality thing, we got to qualify the circumstances, like you said, and acknowledge that there are instances where one is more valuable than the other, and they're not equal.
Definitely.
And that's based off of, I would say that's based off of physiology, or you know what I'm saying, the testosterone that a man could bring to warfare. So I think when a lot of people heard this question, they was ready for a gender war. They weren't actually ready for some intellectual deep thinking about it. They wanted to talk about, you know, this. Yeah, I mean, nah, I'm gonna bring y'all to a different level.
Right, definitely. Definitely. You know, and that's the whole thing, you know. And I told you, I did a quick experiment on my mom, you know what I mean, real quick. But after I explained to her, you know what I mean, she understood where I was coming from, why I had that question. You know what I'm saying? So then maybe we'll get into that a little later. You know what I mean? Some people want to come up, man. Put the link in the chat, man, and you can let people up as we build or whatever like that.
Yeah. Hold on, I just had to get set up on my computer, but yeah, I want to preface this with some knowledge, some information, some thought. A lot of times we go off of emotion when we see these questions, but let's actually think about it. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Uh-oh, here come the Islamic Raider in the building. Here he is.
Goddamn.
What up, Basil?
Islamic Raider, that's crazy, bro. That's
crazy.
Insane.
Assalamu alaikum, man.
Wa alaikum salam, brother. What's up?
What's going on with you, man? How you been, man?
Nothing much, man. I've been good. Just doing what I gotta do.
True that. So you
How
heard
about
the
you?
beginning. You heard the beginning and pretty much the premise of the question.
Yeah. I've been here since the beginning. I was just eating.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I think some better questions is are men equal? Is equality required for success and function? I think these are better questions to ask. And
but
then
those, but
Nah,
see,
hold on. How you guys step
to
over our
start with,
question? We just
right?
established a hell of a question,
no,
and
it's the
Hell
now
of
same
you
thing.
want to say you got
a
better
question.
questions. Answer
Wait,
the
wait, wait,
question
wait.
first,
It's the
dog.
same
When
thing.
you come up
Word.
in here, answer
Wait,
the
you guys.
question first.
Shit.
You
Wait,
get
wait, wait,
checked
wait,
at the
wait. You
door.
guys answered the question,
You
no?
get checked at the door,
Okay.
dog. Answer the question before you try to
Are
come
men
with
and
better questions, man.
are men and women equal? No, they're not.
All right, talk about
All
it.
right.
Thank you. Don't run from the
That's
question. We putting
that's
you in the hot
it.
seat now,
Bro, I
big
thought you
dog.
guys answered the question. All right, let's
How
go.
the
Let's
fuck
do it
can
your
we?
way.
How can we answer the question only us?
What do you
That's a
mean?
subjective question. You know what I
No,
mean? They
that's
just want
that's
to
not
get a
objective. That's a
subjective
very
answer.
that's a very objective question.
All right. Well, I hear you. Well, tell me why.
Why it's an objective question, or why men and
Yeah.
women
Why
are
you
not
think
equal?
it is? Yes.
Oh well, because it depends. All you would have to do is make a comparison, right? And if the comparison fails, then the question is automatically answered. If the
All right.
comparison
What's the
is
comparison that you're going off of? What's the
well,
methodology that you're using to come up with your answer?
yeah, just as Jay did earlier, you would have to break it down into its components. So are you talking about equality in size, equality in gender, equality in strength, equality in wisdom? In what way? You could literally make a list and just check off all the boxes. If it's 50-50, if it leans to one side, that automatically answers the question. There's no other human being that can jump in and say, no, we're perfectly equal. If they were to say that, they'd be wrong.
See, now you added the word perfectly equal. We just talking about
Or
equal as far as
equal
like,
in any, if they were to say that we're equal
yeah.
in a sense that is outside of what we've just listed, they would be wrong.
Uh,
And that's why I'm saying a better question is, what is the significance of equality?
No,
Or-
that would be an add-on question. That would be a fucking. The title would be "Are men and women equal?" and up underneath that title would be those questions that you're talking about. But right now we're building the foundation.
Yeah, it's not
You know what I
possible.
mean?
It's impossible
It's impossible for what? For men and women
to be equal. Yeah.
Okay, let
Yo,
me ask
Faisal,
you
turn
this.
your mic down just a little bit, bro.
Yeah.
Is that
Is that better?
Yeah, you good.
Just a little bit. All right.
Okay.
It's something in the background.
Yeah, you got to change the setting on your mic to dang, I forget what the setting is. What you got, the Blue Yeti, bro?
No, it's a Fifen mic.
Oh, okay. See if you could do the background cancellation setting on there, because we can
let
hear
me check
everything.
it out. Let me check it out.
But yeah, I thought Faisal would be perfect for this show, man, because I thought he would be perfect. Man, where the ladies at? Don't be scared. Where the ladies at? That's what we want to know too. Faisal said it's impossible, and I think I understand exactly what he means. So now I want to see if someone has the perspective. Well, first he has to say, are men worth more than a woman, or women worth more? Because if they're not equal, there's an imbalance, right? So which way?
Imbalance.
Which way is he leaning with this?
Yeah, that was about to be my next question. So what are you? I tried to ask him just now. What are you dealing with to make you come to this conclusion? He said exactly what you said, simply what Jay said, but you're still not giving me no instances. You're just going off of what you heard and what you think. I want to know an instance. What makes you believe that? Have you been in an instance that make you believe that? You know what I mean? Per se, you know.
Well, in what category? You're looking for an example in what category? A physical.
In the question period. Why you said that they can never, that a man and a woman can never be equal.
Yeah. So what we should do here is just to satisfy a better.
Why you say that? Besides
we're
height,
built differently. We're built differently.
Okay, so that's physical, right?
Physical, psychological, emotional, and possibly even intellectual.
Hold on. You say psychological.
Sure.
Now, what makes you think that a woman and a man can't have the same thought process?
Well, that thought process is different from psychology. So one thing that we could say is that maybe women are more frantic than men. Men are desensitized to certain things. So, for example, if you have a spider and someone has to kill the spider, a lot of women would say, "Look, I don't want to do that at all," and a lot of men would say, "Okay, I'll just do it." You know what I'm trying to say? So we are desensitized psychologically and possibly emotionally because we have a biological function that has to be performed.
Whoa. So you trying to tell me that there's no woman out there that'll say, man, I'll kill that spider before a man?
No. So this is what I wanted to say before that. So in order for us to speak on clear terms, what we should do is we should average out all of the performance of all men and average out the performance of all women. And if there's if there's a disparity,
performance, what would we be using?
So for example,
other people's performance, right? So that's how we will have to get our study. We will have to go off what we see in history and what we see in now going on today. Right?
We would do it like this. So let's say all the men arm wrestle and all the women arm wrestle. If the average number is greater or it leans towards the men's side, then what we would say is on average men are stronger than women. We're not
No. Hold on. No. Here's why that's problematic, and I don't fully disagree with you, but here's why that's problematic. You chose a very particular metric,
that was one example.
Hold on, dog. Yeah, and I'm getting at your one example.
Oh my God.
If you can't take the heat, get the hell out the kitchen, man. You chose to sit in the hot seat. Don't get up and run. Stay right there.
The reason get up and get out, but then make sure you don't get out. That's crazy.
The reason why what you're saying is problematic is because you're choosing one exercise that clearly leans in the favor of men.
Brother,
now if we chose something different, hold on, and you chose it knowing the physical differences. Now let's do it differently, right? Let's flip it and let's talk about like maybe a leg press or a squat where we know women from waist down tend to be physically more agile and stronger.
Now,
hold on. If you were to throw that in, now the results might show otherwise. And if the women come on top, now can we say women are stronger?
No, it's not going to happen. Brother, hold on. Listen. I don't know why you're trying to project a position on me. Earlier, I said,
no, get out your feelings, bro. You chose
feelings. I'm just stating the obvious. Hold on. Let me talk.
Where your logic is flawed.
Let me talk.
You come from a male-dominant world, man. You know, so that's your upbringing and that, man. That's why you feel that way. And
no. Let me answer.
I come from a female-dominant line, and trust me, dog, homeboy, I'm all man. But I come from a female dollar line, and I'm trying to tell you, I saw women do some things way better than men.
Yeah, I'm not saying women are incompetent. I'm not making that argument at all. But what I'm saying is that
nobody used the word incompetent, bro. You used that word.
Yeah, you used that.
Well, I also said I'm not saying that. So, anyways, look. As I said earlier, make a list of every single possible exercise. So. Sorry, not exercise of a particular task or a function. And it can be psychological, it can be physical, it can be emotional, it can be the whole spectrum. And what I'm saying is that if you get all men to do that test and all women to do that test, you're going to find that the data will be skewed to one side. Do you understand what I mean by that?
How?
Now,
wouldn't it be a certain amount of men winners, and wouldn't it be a certain amount of women?
So what we would say is this. That fewer women, only a few women are going to be able to beat a few men in arm wrestling. Most men will beat most women in arm wrestling. So that's one category.
Oh man, that's I will have to say, man.
Brother, I'm telling you now, if you were to ask a woman that question, she will agree. Like women don't like it. Women don't like when you put them in a position where they have to do something that they know they can't do.
No. But here's the thing, though, Faisal. Now, let me tell you how your argument would be better, since you talking about bettering things over here. When you bring up, you made me lose my train of thought. But basically, what I was gonna say is, what you're not accounting for in this proposed study that you're talking about is actually socialization. So the reason why the data could be skewed a certain way is because of socialization. So when you have a society that basically promotes certain qualities of a certain gender, now of course that gender is going to exude those qualities more. Now, the way your argument would be better is to say, okay, the way that we can basically remove that variable of socialization is by actually looking into the anatomical differences that account for men being able to push more weight or lift more weight. That's a better argument, because anyone could say, why are people in the South better at football than people in the North? Now we got to look at the society in the South compared to the society in the North. What infrastructure do they have down there? What programs do they have on there that is making them exceed in a certain way that people in the North aren't?
The reason
right?
why that's not necessary is because you could then just eliminate all the data from those in the North and focus only on the people in the South. So you would have a gender split in the South. So we could just say we're only looking at the South, and the data is going to look the same. So we don't even need to worry about that, right?
No, I beg you.
No.
Listen, that's not how that works. You don't need an enormous sample size across cultures.
I'm not talking about sample size, brother. What I'm talking about is removing a variable. Because when you do studies, bro, you have to realize you're dealing with multiple variables. I brought in the variable of socialization. I wish I had a better word, but basically, people are socialized to basically have certain characteristics.
Okay, that's why.
So that argument of saying that men are only better at such and such, hold on, men are better, let's say, at arm wrestling or whatever. I would say, well, I could pose the argument, men are better at arm wrestling because they arm wrestle more. Wouldn't that be a truth? Okay, so they're socialized to do, yes, sir, they're socialized to do physical activities and competitions way more. What if women were socialized to be that way? Would they perform better in that study? Okay, so if we want to remove that factor, right, we gotta literally isolate something here. And what I'm saying, what should be isolated that you cannot really argue against is the anatomical differences. Now, men have a certain type of shoulder structure or a chest structure or bicep mass that allows them to be able to push more, pull more, things like that. That would actually be the best argument to say that men are definitely stronger than women.
But that is the argument that's being made. The reason why you could do, well, I mean, look, we're saying the same thing. So what's wrong with what I said? I don't understand.
What's wrong with what
you could simply you could take 10 men from any society, 10 women from any society, and come to the conclusion of a physiological or a biological difference.
No, but here, I'll answer your question. To be simple, I'm giving you a critique of the study that you proposed, where you offered an arm wrestle example to say men are stronger. And what I'm saying is, if you actually did a different exercise, women might actually perform better. So would it be fair if women perform better in that one exercise to say now that women are stronger than men?
Give me an example. Give me an example. I did
give you an example.
You just said some women are going to be stronger in certain body parts. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I gave you an example, and I said if
it's not even true, because if you look at something like,
let me help you out. You asked me a question, so slow down. And then if you were listening 3 minutes ago, you would have heard the answer to your question that you just asked me again. Now, whether you disagree with that or not, that's different. But the example I gave you, you used a waist up example. I said if you did competitions that went from the waist down, you might actually see that women are stronger.
Okay, how do you feel about the Olympics?
I don't have any feelings.
Okay, so do you think, take all the sports in the Olympics, do you think that you could take the best of the females and they can compete with the best of the males? Do you think that's even possible?
Now again, I'm gonna say the same thing to you.
My example
is a hell of a thing, bro. Because for example, we got women now. We got biology. See, this is why I'm saying you have to isolate. Now we're going into biology.
I just gave you the example of the Olympics. The Olympics is a perfect isolation, and we can select the sport based on the
okay. Now here's the thing. I'm gonna help you out. Nowadays, we have women who are excelling in sports, from my opinion, based off of what I've seen throughout history compared to now. I always tell OTK about Asia Wilson. I feel like Asia Wilson could play in the NBA. And the reason I'm saying that, look, hold on. Listen to what I'm gonna say to you, because I'm gonna help you out. Asia Wilson is playing at a level that gives me at least the feeling that she could play against men. But imagine if when Asia Wilson was 4 or 5 years old, she already started playing against boys. Imagine how good she would be right now if she was not separated to only play with girls.
This is why
there's a lot of men, whether they're in college, high school, maybe not all professional, but she will bust they ass, bro.
This is the problem. So, what you're doing is you're taking.
Hold on, one more line. So my premise is, now if you re-socialize and you actually allow women to integrate somewhat with the men, you will see women surpass these men. It wouldn't be so lopsided where you're saying things are definite and skewed. It would actually be a little bit more competitive.
Well, you're not understanding the points I made earlier.
If you believe not, you're gonna have to tell me why. And the only why you can give me is the why that I offered you before, which is the biological, physical, anatomical difference.
Okay. So here's the problem that you're making, right? You're trying to take the extreme female position and contrast that to the weakest possible position. And I already conceded. That's why I said you need to take the average of the data. So, for example, we're not going to take a female who's in the WNBA and make her play against a male who couldn't even barely make it out of high school basketball. Obviously, the female is going to beat him in that sport, but what you need in order for you to compare apples to apples, you have to take that same female and make her play the male equivalent. And when you do that, she's not going to succeed at all.
That's stupid. Did you hear what you just said? You just said play the male equivalent. If they are equal, how are you going to say she's not going to succeed? That right there is an oxymoron. That right there is an oxymoron, bro. That's a paradox, my dog. They can't be equivalent. That's a paradox, my dog.
Bro, slow down. Equivalent means
I'm listening to you, man.
Oh my god, bro. Jay, are you sure? Because like you're pouncing on concepts. You're pouncing on concepts that don't support you. Trust me when I tell you.
No. You like to do this gaslighting thing where you try to convince people that their arguments ain't sound because you can't make a sound argument.
Okay,
and
so let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
You contradicting yourself. Let me ask you this. Don't ask me a question. I want you to make a point.
Bro, I've been making points this entire time. You don't understand them.
They're not sound. That's
they trust me, they're sound.
And you also missed my point.
Oh my
okay,
God.
nice. What is equivalent? What does equivalent mean?
We just qualified that. You wasn't listening to the beginning of the show when we said equal. You wasn't listening when we talked about what equal is.
Okay.
You said you watched from the beginning of the show. What was the example I gave when I was talking about equal?
The definition for equal and equivalent is not the same.
Okay, let's do the semantics then. Break it down, and then I want you to qualify your statement because I heard exactly what you said, and I remember it very well. So once you get this definition, I'm going to take you back to exactly what you said, and I'm going to point out how it's a paradox.
Yeah. Equivalent. There. You see the private chat?
Read it for everyone to hear.
Yeah.
So equal here.
You doing equal first. Okay.
Hold on. Let me see which one I got first. Being the same in 1 second.
And where you reading this? This
is from the Oxford Dictionary.
Okay, bet.
So it's a straight Google search.
I didn't care what source you said. I just wanted you to say whatever you was getting.
Okay, so I believe the first one is equal. So being the same in quantity, size, degree, or value. The second would be equivalent. Being equal in value, amount, function, and meaning.
Oh, so it just left size out.
It's not just that. So like if you say quant, like let's say for example, meaning, right? Or no. Trust me, equivalent and equal are not necessarily the same thing. So here's an equivalent. Here's equivalent.
What did you mean? So what did you
mean? I'll tell you equivalent and equal, why they're different. Let's say, for example, you were playing a sport, basketball, right? Your equivalent would not be someone who's also a defender. Your equivalent would be the one who's on the opposite side. So if you're a defender and attacker, you're going to have to contrast with your opposite. Not someone who's your equal could be someone who's on another team but also plays a defensive position. So these people are equals. Your equivalent, i.e., your opponent, would be on the opposite side. So what you don't necessarily want to compare. It would be difficult to compare the function of a defender and attacker because they have to do inverse jobs. So we wouldn't want to take someone who's a professional arm wrestler and have them compete against someone who's a professional runner, right? You wouldn't do that. You would have to have runners compete with one another and arm wrestlers compete with arm wrestlers.
That's category.
No, but this is required. This is necessary.
Equal is equal, bro. It ain't no way around that. Equal is equal, bro.
Yeah, but you have to do a proper comparison.
Now, is it different levels of being equal? Yes, and we admit that. It is different levels of being equal, but listen to the question. See, you just jumped off the edge and said, no, it's no way. They can never be equal. But I figure a person like you will sit back and think about my question, because you know I wouldn't ask you no question for no simple ass answer like that. I'm not no simple person. You know what I mean? So I figure that you know what I mean, saying that, you know, you got degrees and stuff and you my bro, you speak highly intelligent, and I respect all the conversations we have. Trust me. No, I learn something every time I talk to you. Trust me. But I was figuring that you would probably take it a little deeper. But the first thing you did is said, this is a better question to ask.
Yeah.
Like, God damn.
Well, when I say this is a better question to ask, the reason why I said that was because you guys have already answered that first segment. And even if you take my question out of it, you guys yourselves were already started asking other questions. So when I asked a different question, now it wasn't a thing. But let me ask you this. Would you compare a tennis player and a football player?
When it comes down to status, if they both are pros.
Okay, let's say the number one tennis player and the number one football player.
And like I told you, it's categorization, brother.
Right, but this is why it's important to distinguish between equal and equivalent. You can't a football player.
How will we ever know if they're equal physically because they're in different sports?
Exactly. So what we have to do is do apples to apples, not apples to oranges.
Basil, hold up. So you're just guessing, saying like, yo, okay, because they're in tennis, we're in football, we're physically stronger than them because
that is correct. Football players are significantly stronger than tennis players.
All right.
Wait. Okay. Would you disagree with that?
Yes, I would disagree with that.
That's okay, yeah. Jay. I bet you $10,000.
You want to know why? Because you didn't qualify what you're measuring for strength. See, you can't play these vague games, bro. You got to qualify it. When you're proposing a statement like that, there needs to be some type of research or type of test behind it. That's why I'm pushing back and saying, yes, I disagree. Because, want to know why? Here's why. Because if you take a football player and you ask him, whack this tennis ball as far as you can, and then you take what's that dude's name? Djokovic or whatever. There's a Djokovic in tennis too, some Russian dude or something like that. And you ask him to whack that tennis ball as far as you can. I bet you that tennis player, because his forearm muscles have been trained to do that exercise,
there you go, but you're
going to whack that.
You're making my point now.
No, I'm not making your point.
Okay, what you're saying is we need the equivalent.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Don't tell me what I'm saying. I'm telling you what I'm saying. You said that football players are always going to be stronger. And then I asked you to qualify that based on an exercise because you didn't specify. So I gave you an exercise, and I'm telling you an exercise where I would bet you that a tennis player is stronger than a football player. Jay, would you disagree with what I just said?
Yes, I would. Yes,
all
I
right,
would.
so you're telling me that a professional tennis player would not hit a tennis ball further than a football player trying to hit that tennis ball? Yes or no?
Here's the
yes or no?
I don't need to answer
yes or no?
I will answer.
Yes or no? Yes
Oh my
or
God.
no?
It's possible. It's
Yes
possible.
or no?
It's possible.
Yes or no? You don't want to answer
Possible.
because you
I
know
just
the
answered. You
point
don't want my
made
answer.
is not
I
correct.
answered. You don't want my
The
answer.
point you made is not correct.
Jay.
So
Trust
when
me.
you make
Jay, trust me
statements,
when I tell you.
when
Trust
you
me when I
make
tell you.
statements, Faisal,
Everything.
qualify your statements first because I'm gonna check all of them. Don't
Jay,
just make a general statement.
Jay,
There has to
you're
be a
making
test
my
behind
point.
these statements
You're
that you're
arguing
saying, bro.
from my point. You're making my
No,
point.
I'm not
I
making your
told you
point.
you need to compare
I'm
apples to
not
apples.
making your
And
point.
I
Don't tell
started
me what I'm
arguing about
doing. And what
categorization.
you're saying with this apples to apples don't make sense because you
Oh
want to
my God,
argue
apples to apples
equivalence.
doesn't make
Hold on,
sense.
listen to this. Listen to this. You want to argue equivalence, but then you want to say a phrase like apples to apples as if that's not equal. So already right there, you're contradicting yourself again.
Exactly.
Apples to
Hold
apples.
on.
About
You just made my
equality.
point. You just made my
Equivalence. No, I didn't make your point.
Yes,
I'm
you
pushing
did. Yes,
back
you
against
did.
your point
No,
again
you're
because you
making
just
my
said
point. You don't
equal
even
and
understand what you're
equivalence
doing.
aren't the same thing. You
Oh
just
my
said
God.
equal and equivalence aren't the same
Hold
thing,
on.
but you keep on saying apples to apples, which
listen.
are the same thing.
Listen,
So you're not making sense.
No.
You're
Now,
not making
Jay,
sense.
Jay,
Now
listen
I'm gonna
and
give
learn.
you a chance to
Jay,
clean it up, but I'm checking you when you're wrong. Go ahead.
Listen and learn, Jay. Listen and learn. Apples and oranges are both categorized as fruits, but you cannot make a perfect comparison between an apple and an orange, but we can make a closer and more similar comparison between apples and apples. That's why we need to produce its equivalent, not its equal. We need to produce something that is in the same category. Now, to go back to the example that I gave you earlier, all we have to do is make a list of, let's say, 10 different functions. The football player is going to be stronger than the tennis player in more of those categories than the tennis player is going to be in comparison to the football player. Therefore, we need to produce the tennis player's equivalent, not his equal in sports. They're equally sports players, but they're not equivalent, so the comparison is going to be compromised.
Man, hold on, man. Because you don't want to address the
semantics. Jay, don't worry. Jay, get lost in the semantics, bro. Don't worry about it. You're good.
All right. So you like to be a wordsmith and play
I'm a
games
wordsmith.
and arguments, right?
Academic,
but when
Jay.
you got somebody that could do the same
Jay.
thing with you, now you want them to stop playing that game.
Be an academic, Jay.
That's what we're doing. So when we talk about academia, and I'm checking the way you're saying things, don't back off.
I'm right here. I'm right here.
Academics.
Where's the backup? Where's the backup? Where's the backup? Where's the backup? I'm right here.
You're telling
Where's
me
the backup? I'm right here.
Now, I know you getting beat up and you didn't expect
Jay,
this.
Earlier you said, don't go nowhere, but
I know
go
you
somewhere.
getting beat up and you didn't expect this.
But yourself and you're wondering why I'm opposing you.
No. You're saying things that are paradoxical. And I'm catching them every time you do it. And now you're telling me I'm playing semantics because I'm checking your arguments at the door.
Jay, I promise you now.
Now, again,
nothing wrong with my arguments.
When you make a general statement and you say one party is this over the other, what I'm asking you is to qualify that with either a study or a test, right? You have to get very specific with these variables.
I'm saying is going to be exactly the way I said it.
I know you want to interrupt so I could, you try and get me off flow, but I'm in a zone right now, Faisal. It's not going to work, brother. It's not going to work.
Let me give you time.
So like I was saying, he just said a football player is always stronger than a tennis player. Or I won't even use the word always. I won't throw that in there.
Did I
now,
even say
to a simple mind, right? To a simple-minded person, they're thinking, oh, yeah, big football player stronger than the tennis ball player, right? Because they're looking at the tennis ball player because he might be skinny or she might be skinny, fit, agile. So automatically the big, beefy football player is always stronger. But what I said to you was, wait, hold on. What exercises are we using to qualify this statement, right? Because you didn't come with anything. And that's why I said I disagree. And then what did I propose back to you? I gave you a counter argument in a scenario where I said, you know what? Let's take a football player. Let's take a tennis ball player. And here's the exercise I'm going to propose for them to do. They both get a racket and a tennis ball. Let's see who hits that bitch farther. I guarantee. Hold on, dog. I'm talking. Let's see who hit that bitch farther. I guarantee it. They could be the same weight. That tennis ball player gonna knock that bitch 100 yards farther than that football player.
Okay, now compare a baseball player and a tennis player.
Hold on.
Same exercise.
Hold on. add 100 pounds to that football player.
Oh my
I
God.
bet you that tennis player with his big ass forearms been whacking a tennis ball. He gonna knock that bitch
I'm not
farther
even
than him. He
disagreeing
gonna knock it
with
farther than the dude
Like,
with
you're
100 pounds on
putting
him.
you're
Okay,
putting a
so
false
now,
position in my mouth.
if I look
Like,
at that, I'm gonna say, does it give me the right to say the tennis ball player is stronger than the football player? Oh, you might say no, right? Hold on. You might say no. That's why when you brought up the arm wrestling example with the girls and the guys, I said, wait, bro, just because guys might win an arm wrestling match, you can't just put a blanket and say guys are stronger than girls. Because now, what if we did a different test, right? So that's why I'm checking you about
oh my
what
God.
reasoning are you using? What study, what test are you using to measure this? You're just going to use one that favors one group over the other? That's some white boy shit. That's something they'll try to do to say one group is smarter than the other or something like that without actually analyzing the variables in the test.
Jay, let me talk now. On numerous occasions, you've projected premises onto me that I never claimed. I never said those things. You're putting those on me. You're making that my position. So let me clarify for you. Let's see if you can pick it up this time around. All I'm saying is this. You can't take a female who's in the WNBA and make her play basketball against a guy who's not anything at basketball. She's going to win. That's why I said we have to average out the data. What we need is her male equivalent. So someone who plays in that same position, someone with similar
He
stats.
dishonest. He dishonest. I'm gonna stop you at your dishonesty.
I'm
OTK,
dishonest.
you were a witness. You were a witness. OTK, didn't I say I believe Asia Wilson could play against NBA players? Did I not say that?
Couldn't, and I said she couldn't.
Did I not say that? Okay. Okay.
Hold on.
So like
Yes,
I'm comparing her to some bum that's
Yes,
not
he did.
right.
Yes,
I
he
never
did.
compared it
And
to.
he
No,
also-
I told you not to do
Hold on,
that.
Faisal, hold on. Listen to what he also iterated on to that. He said that, you know why I believe that? Because when she was 5 and 6 years old, she was playing with boys and
Oh,
playing
no.
with men.
I said
And
no.
he
I said
didn't separate it and being in a woman league that she can bust some men ass today.
right. That was kind of what I said, but I'll help you out a little bit. What I was saying was she's already excelled at a certain level where I believe she could do it. I watch her play.
Okay, and that's
right. Hold on. I'm
said,
almost done, Faisal. I'm almost done. So what I said was we have to look at the socialization of the two genders or sexes, because I believe if she's this good now, if growing up she never had to just play with girls and she could step in and play in leagues with guys and it wasn't separated, she would be far ahead of where she's even at this point today. So that's why I was bringing up the socialization aspect where they get separated. And now you got standards and expectations that are put on one group versus the other group that are not equal. So now you're getting better performance from one than the other.
Jay, pause.
Hey,
That's
Faisal,
why I said. Hold on. That's what, bro.
Faisal, you're gonna have the mic next, Bub. You know we let you rock out over here. So just let them finish real quick.
Well, here's the thing, man. Here's why I keep on going in like this. Because what Faisal likes to do when he responds, he likes to throw a little gaslight. He likes to make you think you said something you didn't say. He likes to make you think you misunderstood him or misheard him. I heard everything you said. I will repeat it back to you and then correct it. And now I'm actually trying to help you make your arguments better, because as soon as you came into the stream, what did you say? A better question without even answering our question. So since you came with that, now I'm going to upgrade you, my dog. And that's what's going on right here. You got to step your game up. Step your arguments up.
Go back, watch the tapes. You guys had essentially concluded the matter. So when I came in and said a better question, I was literally continuing the dialogue. I was not replacing the topic. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, you're arguing my point. That's why I said you need to bring her equivalent. Then you said, oh, equivalent is equal. Oh, equivalent is equal. I said you need to bring her equivalent. So in order to demonstrate the disparity in the data, you have to put her against someone who's in her same position at her level. And that's when you're going to see that the data will shift. It will split. They will part ways. You're trying to take the best case scenario for a female and put it against a lesser case scenario for a male, which, by the way, I already conceded. Yes, she can beat that guy, but she cannot participate in the WNBA. And I guarantee you that if she were to be in the WNBA, that's when you're going to see how clearly impossible it is for her
Bro,
to
do you hear what
compete
you're
with
saying?
her.
She is in the WNBA.
Sorry, I mean in the NBA. I meant in the NBA. She cannot play in the NBA. And that's when you're going to see that she's not able to compete with her equivalent. That's why I said equivalent is important. We're not going to put a baseball player up against a tennis player because the tennis player, his forearms, you can cry about that all day. Now bring a baseball player. Can the tennis player hit that ball? No. So that's why we need to bring equivalence. That's why we need to bring equivalence. So
peace and love. Peace and love. We came in late. What's going on? I'm loving this title, but I'm confused.
Jay is trying to scam me out my IQ, so I'm just defending myself. That's it, really.
Okay. Okay. Is this about sports?
All right, so I'm gonna tell you what I think. The question here, I believe, is are men and women equal? And I said no, they're not equal, but that doesn't mean that. So once we answer that question, I shifted over to say, what is the importance of equality? What is the significance of equality? I would argue that that's a natural extension to that same question. Would you agree or disagree with that?
Well, okay, so let me make sure I'm on the right page with this. When you said men and women aren't equal, in what? How? I mean, which one are you saying is more?
So here's my proposal. Here's my proposal, right? And this is what I said to them from the very beginning. You can create several categories: physical, psychological, emotional, intellectual, and you can create tasks within each of these categories. And if you were to get all men and all women to do that same test, I believe that the data will skew more to the male side in terms of their performance. That's what I believe.
Okay. Mentally, no way, shape, fashion, or form. That is just no.
I disagree with that.
Oh, let me finish. I know you will because you're a man, but
that's fine. Okay,
and that's fine. I mean, but because you made that statement, I believe that they both can be intelligent, but a woman's intelligence and initiate her what's the thing, Sakina, when you already know that your man's doing something, and intuition. Her intuition, and as far as I'm gonna say intelligence, when it comes to intelligence, you just out the box with that, because most of the time we looking at you like, are you what? So okay, no. Now, as far as physical is concerned, yes, you are stronger than us in certain tasks. You are stronger than us.
So keep in mind here, I'm not making the argument that females are incapable or that they're not able to occupy high ranking positions. So let's say, for example, in a science, let's say a medical researcher, right? You're more likely to get more men in that field and fewer women. And so this.
Well, are you saying because of interest? Because you don't really know that. Have you taken any form of went on and seeing how much women are in that field?
I've been in other fields such as engineering and design and development, and usually it's always the males that outnumber.
Right, but then we do it on other things like with clothing and
okay, and that's fine, right? But what I would say is this: if you want to take the measurement of emotional IQ, let's just say that would still be one category. You would have to tally up all of the other categories, and it would make more sense that if men are occupying those positions already right now, if men are the ones that are the majority in scientific research, they're the majority in engineering, they're the majority, and there are some women there for sure, then what we would say is that if we were to average out all that data, it will skew to the male side in almost every category.
The women are the ones that they're doing the science on.
Wait a minute, hold on. Excuse me, Freedom. Let me intervene for 1 second, because the reason why the numbers are that way is because the statistics were based on science. These jobs were created based on women. Yeah. Exactly. And so when we look at the statistics based off of those numbers, the jobs were male oriented in the beginning anyway. So women were not involved in those numbers. So all of these men created jobs, women were not involved in the creation of these jobs. So when we say women were not created, or women were not involved in, let's say, brick masonry, or building and creating jobs, and laying pavement, and these types of things. And so these were not women-based jobs. So to find out or to say that women could do it, no, they were not. And so when we had these kind of tests, and I can't think of them right now, but they had these kind of psychological tests to see where you would fall at, far as doing what kind of tests and what kind of jobs and what kind of fields that you could operate in. And so later on, when that movement came in to say women could do, because they only had office jobs and kitchen jobs and certain kind of jobs, that said women would be best to work these jobs versus, and these were for more men. Women weren't able or to do doctors. They were only able to be nurses. But now you see more females holding these positions because they weren't able. Then we gonna say able because they were not
allowed.
They weren't assumed to have this kind of mentality to operate or function in these positions.
That's the fact that women were looked down on at one time.
Exactly. They weren't able.
I understand. That's
why it's in that position, but that doesn't mean that a woman can't do it. Right. Because I believe it's equal.
But Freedom, I never said that they couldn't do it. Remember, I said even in a setting where there's scientific research going on, you're going to have females there, but the males will be in greater numbers now.
Yeah, but they'll be doing the research on the women because the men are
not.
Why
would they be doing the research on the women? The research could involve anything.
Because women have things that you don't have. We got things that you need to do the scientific research on, and you just don't have them.
So let's say, for example, agricultural.
Wait a minute, 1 minute, Faison. I think that's your name. The IQ test came into play, and when the IQ test came in, this kind of balanced things, but then this went under the rug because this would have proven that women were just as much capable. So therefore, this was when the physical test came in, because IQ put us at a balance, because IQs could prove that women were just as much capable as men. But when it came to physicalities, women are not able to lift and do the physical as much as men.
Okay, forget the physicality.
So then the IQ proved that women were just as much capable as men, according to an IQ.
Look, that's fine. I'm not but listen to what I'm saying though. Capability is different than the total amount of people who can participate or are willing to participate in that space. So if there's 10 researchers and 2 of them are females, yes, the female's capable, but there's still 8 more males in that specific space. So what we could do is we could look at enrollment numbers. So for example, I have to go do the research on this, but I have heard that when
I've already did it just now psychologically, and
psychologically,
it don't have nothing to do with capable.
Men and women do not differ in actual IQ. There's no smarter.
One can argue that the IQ test is not even designed.
But why would you even want to be smarter than your mama?
But I never. Okay, so now, I'm not saying that.
Your wife.
Hey, hold on, y'all. Faisal, I love how when things don't really agree with you, you like to say, "Oh, how do we know it's true now?"
Right, because when we talk about qualified, qualified doesn't have to do with enrollment. If I'm qualified, I'm qualified. Just because I didn't enroll don't mean anything to do with me being qualified.
Hold on. I don't. You said so. I said we can look at enrollment numbers. So a university would say, "Hey, here's how many students we have in this program, and here's how many students we have in this program." Everyone chooses what program they want to be a part of. So if we see a gender-based rift in terms of those numbers, what do you think that means?
Okay,
that's so only the people that enroll.
What about the undocumented info?
When you say undocumented, so I'm willing to.
You're going on documented info, and then you're going on pretty much college numbers. What about urban communities?
Well, hold on, I look, I agree with that, right? But we would have to try to find some way to try to quantify that. I'm not putting any argument any possibility down.
Okay.
But
let me say this, Faisal, real quick. Now, I'm going to put it like this. Men have ruined the world. Women try to balance it out. How about that? Men have ruined the world, and women try to balance things out. You know what? Because there's a difference between the abilities and the
qualifications. Go with that.
The women are nourishing. That's the word I'm going to look for.
Mm-hmm.
That she wants things to always be balanced. If women were running the world, there would probably be no wars. There would be trade.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because I'm a mama.
Okay.
I got 3 babies and 6
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
Let me finish and then baby you finish. Because women don't want war, we don't want killing, we would rather try to find a way. Well, you know what, we got a lot of this over here and they got a lot of that over here. Let's try to work it out. So we will contact. If this was a world where women was running things like we did one time before, and we allowed y'all to take over, and then y'all done effed everything up with wars, with all kinds of control, power mechanisms to take over. So you literally go and take over somebody else's country with guns and knives and bombs and all this. It's always about control and power when it comes to the male species. But when it comes to mama, she wants all her kids to get along. So she will find ways for everybody to get along. So it's a big difference.
Okay, can I ask you a couple questions?
If you want to say equal, well, no, it can't be equal because y'all have unbalanced everything and practically destroyed the entire world.
I like that.
No disrespect.
So can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
So you said that women are nourishers and they want to nourish the environment, and so
absolutely, that's in our nature.
Can I ask before Faisal move the goalposts yet again? Hey y'all.
What?
What is up this
Oh my God! Wow. Okay.
Because I'm going to be in. Wait, hold on. Because we're going to be. I want to be in. I just want to make sure that we have an understanding. I want to hear him say. I just want to hear him double talk again because he started out by quantifying and qualifying the conversation with quote unquote on the SATs, right? He qualified.
I never mentioned the SATs.
In a woman, that science.
Are you double talking or is that me?
That science would more than likely show or probably show he used a lot of like presumptive, assumative language.
You're doing the J dance. I got you.
Well, no. I'm playing your game.
No, that's what you said. You were going against
the I said SAT. I said SAT.
No, you said college.
I said enrollment.
Exactly. That's the same thing. You made a lot of statements and you thought you were sounding intelligent. You sounded quite foolish. And Jay was like, I'm not playing with you. You're not keeping me on the defense. Nigga, I'm keeping you on a rope. So we're going to keep this conversation going. So let's be very clear. I'm glad that you just admitted that what you're not saying is that men are smarter or more intelligent than women.
That's what you want to say.
Kind of what you were. That is what you were implying.
Daughter, don't project your conclusions onto me.
Say that. And I do have an article in case he would like to use, in case, you know.
And right here it says when female brain shows significantly more activity than male.
Source up, because that's what we like to do.
Faisal like to play too much.
We like to source up. Go ahead, daughter. Go ahead.
So
do that.
I never said that women are incapable. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, but we think longer and harder to try to find different ways to do things without war and conflict.
Okay.
So where the male,
do you mind if I interrogate you on that a little bit?
Go right ahead. I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready too with you.
All right. No problem. So are we looking at an article or what are we doing?
Well, you said you wanted to interrogate me, and I'm waiting, son.
Yeah, but there's an article on the screen. So did you want me to wait, or did you want
to interrogate Mama? It's going to be.
Go ahead, Faisal. Go ahead.
All right. So since the freedom, you said that.
Stop sharing the screen. Let him finish with the freedom. Sorry.
Whoever's sharing, make the article bigger, blow it up some.
Okay, wait. We waiting on him for the interrogation. Thank
you.
Yeah,
so I want to ask Freedom a couple questions. So, Freedom, you said that women are nurturing and that they're nourishing. Is that correct?
I said we're balancers. Yes, we're nurturers. We are we're nurturers. We try to balance things out. I mean, when you real, women like that. Go ahead. I just want the interrogation.
No problem. So does that mean that every woman operates as a nourisher? Is a woman incapable of operating in that way?
Well, let me put it like this. Unless she's been through something in her life that has caused her. Excuse you. You asked me a question.
I'm just interested in the answer. I asked you a question. Answer the question. Wait. He's jumping to a justification. Just answer the question.
Don't do that. You gotta let me ask. You can't tell me how to answer a question.
Mr. Freedom, hold on. You let her justify her first answer with you. She gave you an answer, and then she had a little second to justify, and then you went into your second question.
He's looking for a certain type of answer. That's what he's doing.
Let her go ahead and justify this.
All right, go ahead. Do it your way. Let's do it. Yeah, go ahead with the justification. I'm gonna wait on you. You said you wanted the interrogation. Now we gotta deal with it.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. Now let me answer the question with respect.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, OTK.
She's gonna let you go back in, Faisal. Trust me, just give her a chance to answer. Let her go into a little dialogue like she did with the first one, and then she'll give it right back to you, and then you can ask your next question. All right, is that fair?
I mean, if I'm the one who's asking the questions, you should let me ask the question.
But don't ask a question and don't let nobody.
But OTK, with all due respect, if it's not my way, then this is your way. So let's do it your way. Don't ask me what I want. Just do it the way you want to do it.
Oh my God, that is such manipulation. What makes you think that people don't
do it the way you want to do it? Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Hey, listen, bro.
Naturally, I'm sorry, OTK. Naturally, a woman.
Second question. Go ahead, ask your second question again, and please let her answer, and then you can go into your next question.
I may have other questions after that as well.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Give her a chance to answer it. Let her go into why she's telling you this real quick, and then. But I'm not.
But OTK, the why is not important to me.
But that's only fair, though.
No. You wait, OTK. You can talk about the why after, but I'm not concerned with the why right now. You're making me be concerned with the why. I don't care about the why.
Well, say that you want yes and no answers then.
Yeah, but the answer is simple.
Say, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. All I want is yes and no answers.
No, but what he needs to do is say, I'm going to ask a question, but then I want you to answer it the way I want you to answer, and I want you to answer it with the way I see it. That's not. It makes me wonder, here's
the thing. Your claim is that women are nourishers and balancers, correct?
Yes. So normally that's what they are. And let me tell you why.
So there you go. You actually disproved your own position.
Absolutely not.
You can't say
absolutely not, because I never had the opportunity.
Freedom. You can't use the word freedom. You can't use the word hold on, freedom. You can't use the word normally. If you use the word normally, you're conceding to the fact that it isn't always that way.
Well, you asked me, was it always that way?
Okay, well then not all. Hold on. Freedom. Not all men are freedom. Normally, all men aren't destroyers. Normally, all men aren't violent.
You want to talk. You don't want to give me. See, that's a control mechanism. You're controlling. And that's a problem. You are controlling. That's the reason why you think that men are smarter, because you are doing just what Napoleon did. You're controlling. I'm telling you, as a woman, naturally, women are nourishers and balancers.
But are they always that way?
Only if their life has been through some type of tragic, where they would normally.
So men are peaceful. Men are peaceful so long as they haven't been through trauma. Men are peaceful so long as they haven't been through trauma. Do you see how the justification works?
Faisal.
Okay, let me ask a question.
Fizzle, you gotta stop doing that, because that's a form of control. So I can
exactly.
I've seen your kind before.
There's nothing wrong with staying on topic. There's nothing wrong with staying on topic.
Let me ask
you can know it's something wrong when you trying to control people that can't be controlled.
We're talking on the internet. I'm not even the mod of the channel, but I'm in control. What's up? That's crazy.
That's
No,
weird.
no,
You're not
Bro,
in
stop
control.
gaslighting, dog.
Because we
You over
already
here
see that you are
gaslighting.
trying to control. So
Come on.
how
You're
can you be
Yo,
in
Faisal,
control?
you dealing with
Your
some
info.
very intelligent people. You can't play those
Yeah.
games,
Come
bro.
on, man. What
Come
is
on,
wrong
dog.
with you, man?
You gotta
We
just be
already
honest
see a
over here,
gaslight.
man.
Hey, listen, just
Wait.
let freedom talk. Let freedom talk. Let's go back to the
Listen
conversation.
to him. He's still now he's trying to control men. That's an issue. That's
That
an
can't
issue that you
happen.
can
That
try.
can't
But
Okay,
and
so
it's
what do you
all
want to? What do you want to do? Take control. Freedom. Take control.
Now you trying to tell me to take control so you can see you are manipulating somebody. I couldn't even do. I would choke you every day.
Hey,
I would
So
do
what do you want to do?
Islam
Tell
teach
me.
you?
Listen. Tell me what
Hey,
to do.
Faisal, is that what Islam teach you?
Islam teaches us that there's only one God, and anyone who associates
Oh,
partners with him
man.
will be in the hellfire. How about that?
Shit.
I'm
Does
Muslim too.
Islam teach you?
Salaam alaikum.
Okay.
I'm
Alaikum
Muslim
salam.
too.
Does the,
Wa
does
alaikum
No,
the,
but what I'm telling you is
Okay,
respect
that
is
does
due
not
to
teach
anything
y'all
and
that.
anyone.
Hmm?
Respect is due to anything and
Right.
anyone. And just
Right.
because he told me that he was Muslim, now I see his mindset. I can humble myself
Uh-oh.
and play the role of a Muslima, but we
Uh-oh.
took ourselves out of that. We are now on a conscious, this is a conscious panel right here.
Yes,
We done
sir.
took ourselves out of being Muslim. Right now, you can't even play that game. We're not going to play that.
Okay.
Because I'm Muslim too, and I think I've been Muslim quite probably as long as you've been alive.
Okay.
But what I'm saying to you is, and it always you gotta respect Mama first. Ain't that what the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said? Respect Mama
Peace
first.
be upon
Let's
him.
say Big Mama right there. Big Mama, respect that there. Okay.
Well, Big
Now-
Mama got to be reasonable too, no?
Oh, Big Mama is. That's why she's
Okay, so-
allowing you to still talk.
Are you taking control?
Yes, because
All
I
right.
am. Big
Well,
Mama.
have all
I
the
should.
control. See, I'm not going to
I
complain
should.
when I'm not going to
I
complain
should.
when you have the control. Go
No,
ahead,
but
take the
if
control.
you're gonna take control, make sure it makes sense.
Of course, it makes sense. I
You
always
can't,
make sense.
you can't take control and somebody know that you've been manipulative. You ain't even know how to see.
Manipulative.
You one of
That's a
them.
lot. That's a
You
lot.
one
That's
of them that
that's
don't
an
even know how to
accusation.
play the
That's an
game right.
accusation. If you're a Muslim and I'm Muslim,
Now,
you can
see,
accuse me of
You
manipulation,
know what?
Mama.
You the type of man that if you was cheating or doing anything, I would already know it.
But I've never done
I would
it, and
already
never
know
would do
it.
that. But I've never
I
done
would
that. And I never
already
would
know
do
it.
that.
Because you too transparent. We can tell when you're trying to be controlling.
Too
We can tell when
transparent.
you're trying to be manipulative. We can tell when you're trying to gaslight. We can tell when you're doing stuff. It ain't just stop. Just
So I got a
just
question.
hold on
I got a
with
question.
the
Okay,
flow.
wait a minute.
You
Let
can-
me
you
ask
can-
my question first,
Go
because
ahead.
under being Muslim, right quick,
Mhm.
how do you call that respect when every time she talk, you talking back? And I'm not Muslim, but I'm a mother, and my kids dare not talk back to me while I'm talking to them, and I'm not Muslim, and that's just respect right there. Because when I'm talking, you have nothing to say but and because I'm talking. So you're supposed to be quiet, number one, and that's just out of respect because I am not big, but just mama. That's period. And that's not being in religion under Muslim. And so that's just respect, period. So that's one. But two, if you trying to ask her about being a nurturer, and this was about men and women, and are we being equal? And then you
Right.
talk about men being because you're trying to say that you're a hierarchy and a rank system, and when men and women are being treated equal, and you asking her about women being nurturers and how you're not being outranked or men are on a higher level platform, yet you treat her like she's less than thee, like she's supposed to walk because in Kemet we are duality, so we walk side by side, but yet you treat her like raccoons, where the female walks behind, like y'all from not even in a respectful manner, but like she walks behind you, like they do in Islam, right? So she's rather to be seen and not heard, and so you still treat her this way. And even if she is supposed to be respected as a mother, how do you call yourself even trying to get anything from her when you want her to answer the way you want her to answer, and then therefore so you can build your case, but you want her to follow along with how you want her to go? How is that supposed to give her her own freedom to be able to respond or speak?
All right, so Sakina, let me ask you a question, okay?
Okay, come on.
Or I don't want to be too controlling, so just tell me how you want me to ask the question.
No, you go ahead and talk, because I'm ready to answer whatever.
She's sarcastic
so
too.
Sakina, if I say, look, Sakina, everything you just said in the last however 5 minutes is complete nonsense. How can I inform you and educate you or convince you to see it that way without being disrespectful, if you don't mind?
If everything I said was complete nonsense, how can you get me to understand something different?
How can I get you to understand that nothing you just said makes any sense without being disrespectful? How do I do that?
You can't, because you know that it does make sense. So what about what she said made no sense?
Exactly. Explain to me that. What did I say made no sense?
Even I gotta hear this. That's a lot.
What's the point?
That's a whole.
You're trying to hold me accountable to Islam. Is that right or no?
No, she's trying to hold you accountable to respect. See how that went
I'm
on?
trying to hold you accountable to what you said.
Accountable to what you just said.
Exactly, to what you just said.
So you want me to be accountable
don't be moving the goalposts.
Well, first of all, you said that I was treating Freedom like she was a raccoon. Is that correct or no?
No, I said she used that as a metaphor. You don't see that. Wow.
I said I'm trying to hold you accountable.
Stop insulting our intelligence. That was an example.
I gave you examples. So if you see examples as raccoons.
Sakina, let's be clear. In your opinion, did I disrespect?
Hold on real quick. Hold on, my brother. Hold on. Sakina, hold on. In case y'all didn't know, man, this is our brother. He's from Somalia. This is the rest of
this information.
So he don't know what a raccoon is.
How you doing?
This is the rest of our sisters.
Y'all got raccoons in Somalia?
So they don't have raccoons in Somalia?
No, that's
fine. I know plenty of Somali people.
Sakina,
and they ain't got no damn raccoons and no damn.
Okay, so let me take the raccoon back. Let me take the raccoon back.
Information the other night.
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, behave.
Hey, look, let's establish certain things, okay? So, Sakina, are you saying that I disrespected Freedom?
Sister Freedom.
Okay, let me ask you another question. When you talk to your mother, when you talking to your mother and your mother is talking, and do y'all go back and forth while she's talking, or do you be quiet and let her talk and then you speak?
When you say, do I go back and forth? You mean
when your mother is talking to you?
Mm-hmm.
And speaking to you, regardless to what the conversation is about, right, wrong, or indifferent, do you speak back in confrontation with your mother, or do you allow her to speak and then you speak?
She can speak, and if what she says is correct, we'll agree.
If
what she says is incorrect,
so again,
will not agree.
Do you speak while your mother is speaking to you? Or do you wait until she's done?
Oh, if I need to.
If I need to. Stop that.
If I need to. But
so you go back and forth while your mother is speaking to you.
I don't go back and forth. We establish what's clear.
Exactly. So you disrespect your mother and argue with her while she's speaking to you.
How is that disrespect?
So you did any child that speaks back and forth to their mother while she's talking to you is disrespectful.
What's a child?
Quit moving the goddamn football on
the child is you had. What's wrong with you?
You are always your mother's son. You are always your mother's child. Be grown or not. You are all. So when you grow up, you're not your mother's child anymore.
Yeah, she's my mother. Yes.
Okay, then. So, do you go back and forth, even though you're an adult?
Is my mother my leader?
Yes.
No.
Is she still your mother? Is she still your mother?
She's not my. I lead her. She does not lead me.
What?
You lead your mom?
Yes.
Let him explain that one, because I got to hear it.
Why would my mother lead me? Why would my mother?
You take care of her.
Please explain that to us real quick.
Oh my Lordy,
please explain that real quick.
He's gonna sleep tonight with that one.
Explain what? You explain what you want me to explain.
Everybody mute up real quick.
Let me mute up.
Please let Faisal explain this, how he lead his mom. And if everybody want to, y'all can cam up. Y'all know how we do over here. We don't have nothing to hide in your intellect.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
OTK, how about you explain to me how it is that she can lead me? Explain that.
No, I don't have to
Now,
explain.
let me explain.
Because I don't understand. I don't understand what that means.
Sister Freedom, hold on. Faisal, I will answer that question once you answer my question, please. Matter of fact, answer your own statement that you made. You said you lead your mother.
Yeah. She does what I say. She will do what I say.
Why you said that to me? Because we can't knock it until we understand why you said it.
Oh well, give me an example. Like I don't understand.
No, you give him an example.
You need to be the one.
I just told you she does what I say. She do what I say. If I say we're leaving, we're leaving. If I say we're staying, we're staying. Well, I don't.
Oh,
understand.
he's about 20 years old, and she is.
I'm 34. I'm 34.
Okay, listen. Let me explain something to you, honey.
So this
how
must be
your mother
culture,
is a
though.
leader.
Freedom. This
I'm
must be culture.
Muslim. I'm Muslim. I don't care what culture, what man-made religion it is. You never get to disrespect your mama, your grandmama, your great-grandmama, your aunties, which is your mama.
But you know what? In his defense, culturally, what they do is wait till the son come of age, and then the son becomes the head of a household.
There you go.
And then,
wait a minute.
Then they start to follow the son.
I'm not
rules.
giving no.
But
I'm
if
not
you're a
even
good son,
even
you would lead the
what he
family
just
right.
said
If you are a
made
bad son,
there you go.
How would he
If
know
you
what
are
to
a
tell
bad
his
son,
mama? He ain't paying no
then you lead
bills.
it to demise.
Okay, anyway.
Geminal, see, I see how I didn't have to answer that. She did a great job.
No, you need to answer that.
She just answered. She just answered.
But she's wrong, and you know it.
How could she be
Show
wrong?
me in Islam
How could she be wrong?
where you lead your mother. You
Huh?
show it to me.
But not. It's
In
more
any
than just.
form of
Are you
Islam.
saying Faisal? It's just Islam? Or are you saying Somali culture as a
I
whole?
would say both.
He's
I would say
Muslim.
Islam first. Islam first.
He's Muslim. Muslim.
Islam,
okay. So
Islam, a man would have to.
No, Gemini, let me say what I'm saying. I just want to finish.
So hold on. Let me ask Sakina a question. She said something about paying bills. So
you pay all your mama bills.
Well, let me give you an example. If let's say she needed 10K and I knew she needed it and she never asked me and I paid off whatever that was, did she have to ask me to do that?
I don't know. You said she would have had to tell you.
But that's what I'm trying to say. As if I'm the leader.
She told you what she needed.
No, she never told me. I did it before that.
Well, good. That don't mean you tell you.
So what does that mean?
So my kids give me money. So they my leaders.
Because I'm aware of everything that goes on in my household.
That makes you a leader.
Yes, it does. Yes,
how?
No. Listen to what
because
he said.
Faisal is young and explaining it wrong. There are lots of families like this. However.
Listen to what he said.
It's just the way it's being explained.
Like that. None.
He said, Gemini, hold on, y'all, real quick, and I'm gonna let y'all go on. He said he's aware what goes on in his household. So therefore, he's speaking on a point to where his mother is in his house. He's not speaking on a point where
don't forget that.
Even if it's her house, it's still my house.
Well, mama got her own.
No, it's not. It's not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I respect that.
How's it your house?
Yeah, I respect that.
Listen, Sister Freedom. Hold on. Chill. So,
I mean, I can't hear him. I really can't.
Hold on. Right now, we getting too wild. Hold on. I swear, we all got great points. Can we just please pass it around?
Okay, he was speaking to me, and that's where it started. So.
Okay,
let me
go ahead.
I'm gonna say one thing. I'm gonna say one thing, and then I want to give it back to OT.
Are you an only child? Let me ask you that first.
No, I have 3 brothers.
And they're older or younger?
1 older, 2 younger.
And is the older one her leader too?
We're all together, yes.
And all of them are her leaders. Not that I would think that you would tell your mom. I would rather you say we're her protectors. But when you say her leader,
it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Absolutely, it's not.
Stop it.
Absolutely, it's not.
Okay, fine. Protector. Are you happy now? Like, that's crazy.
I'm fine with that because you know what? If I was your mama and I heard you say you was my leader, I would be offended. But if you say
be offended with that.
My mother, let me finish. Let me finish. If you say we all, mashallah, and able to protect my mother. I'm proud. I am proud of my son saying they are able to protect me. But when my son say, I'm my mama's leader, what the
Sister Freedom. Good leadership is protection.
Oh my God, you are so much. I've never heard anybody.
Well, I'm sorry that you've never heard it, but that's the reality.
That's the reality.
Have you never heard of a prevent? Have you ever heard of? Have you ever heard of a? Hold on. Have you ever heard of a preventative measure? Have you ever heard of that?
Wait a minute, because you're very, very manipulative.
I'm manipulative is crazy.
I'm asking you a question. When is your birthday?
I'm in the last month of the year. I don't do horoscopes, so please don't do that.
Oh my God, he's a Capricorn.
No, I'm not. I'm born in December.
That's what I said. December what?
Capricorns are good people.
13.
Oh no,
Capricorns are good.
I would need. I would need. I would need.
Which is even
He sounds like
Sagittarius.
It's just a little sneaky. It's a little flim-flamming going on for sure.
He crazy.
But hold on,
because
Faisal, that's not fair though, bro.
What, Faisal? I respect everything that you're saying. The only thing is that you're not really technically because you're. So I take it you're what in your maybe your are you in your early 30s?
Mid-30. I'm 34.
Late?
34.
34. Okay. So what you're trying to do in essence is that you're trying to make it seem you're trying to take this privilege and then you're putting it in a category as if what, hey, this is my God-given right. This is what's bestowed upon me.
It's a duty.
When in actuality, it's cultural and it's something that's been passed down. So whether it is your God-given right or not, it's the way that American people, because we don't have that same right. We're not.
America is a secular hedonistic nation. Is that the example that you want to derive?
Or whatever you want to call
it.
But
right? why are we deriving?
Because here's the thing. Because if you would just take that, be a little bit humble and say, you know what, y'all? Oh, I see what the problem is. The problem is that we are talking about two different cultures, two different mindsets, and the way that everything is framed, right, in the construct of it. There's some explaining that needs to be done, but instead you are a certain authority as a male, the same way you would do it, or as you know to do it at home, and this is not home. So when we hear it, it's a little off-putting, right? And we're like on the straight attack, like, what are you talking about, Faisal? And you can be a great person, but you are sitting here in this instance. You need to take a step back so that you can see what it looks like.
So let me ask you a question, then, if you don't mind. If a natural relationship between a mother and a son is one of family, correct?
Yes.
So is it normal for a family member to want that poorly for their family member, or is it more normal for a family member to want good for their family members?
You didn't create. Hold on, you didn't create this. You were born into it. Right. So what you understand?
I'm asking you about the natural.
Your environment gives you that. Your environment, because you don't know whether or not you're poor or not. You only know if you're poor or not. Rather, it determines the environment.
But I'm asking you about the natural psychological relationship between siblings and.
The thing about you, Faisal, you like to ask questions.
But how would you even know that?
No. Let me ask y'all.
You have to be taught that, right? Some things that you're being taught, Faisal, is different from putting it into practice. Right?
Okay, so let's say, for example,
that, hey, because this is where your sense of entitlement comes from, being born into a system where it's already in progress, right? So your brother, father, y'all been doing this for a very long time. However, it has to be some connectedness to an understanding of why you even do that practice in the beginning. So that way you don't come off as chauvinistic. You come off as responsible and proper and understanding as a man, take care of your household. But in this instance, because you're so entitled, because you're born into it, you had to do nothing. The rules were already laid for you. You were coming into something that was already gonna be in part of your makeup, and you just don't understand why.
So let me ask you a question.
Okay, she's right here in the chat.
She needs you.
Let me say this really quick, Faisal. Listen. First of all, with you being a Sagittarius, you're already connected. Okay, listen to me though. You're already connected to your mother. Okay, and so with that being said, being a son. Okay. Second of all, you do come off chauvinistic only because of your maleness, and you're already connected on that. You come off chauvinistic because of your maleness, right? Being a protector, and that's in due to your son, due to your sign, and due to that connection that you have, being protector. Okay, you true to yourself, you true to your sign. Now, I don't know how that religion part carried into that. So my son,
Gemini.
my
Sorry,
son is the very same way. Right now, I understand you being the way that you are, also being, because my children, after you explain that, my children are the same way. Now, with that, going back and forth with the way I seen it being disrespectful, being a protector, because when my children do for me and they stand up and do certain things without me even asking or just knowing. Okay, so you find that in being the decision maker and the provider and all these other things. I respect that. My children do the same thing for me.
I think that's a great thing.
Okay, so that's not, that's being protector, that's being a provider, that's being X, Y, and Z.
But it's also being a leader.
Exactly. So we say, listen to me, Freedom. You taking words, you making words into too much power. But remember, we say once an adult, twice a child. So we not looking at it. You taking words and giving it too much power. But at the same time, if your child say, "Mom, you shouldn't do that," or "Mom, you not gonna do this," or "Mom, da 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 da," at the end of the day, that's the way it's gonna go, because our children look out for our best interests, whether we want to or not. And sometimes it just goes that way. And I say, well, my daughter said, no, I'm not going to be able to do that, or whatever, because they convinced me for my better interest, whether I want to decide to or not. And sometimes that just happens. I might look toward a bill or something, or like my daughter just called me and said my car need oil or whatever. And so she gonna stop and go get whatever for my oil change or whatever to look at. These are the things he's talking about. So we making it more into it. So that's part of who he is. And it sounds like my son is a chauvinistic to a degree. He feel like, but I raised him this way, but at the same time, he's just this way. Right. So men don't, I never take out garbage. That's a man's job. That's how I raised my son. But at the same time, my son will say, you're just a woman, meaning women don't do this. Women don't do this. Women don't do this. Women don't do that. That's the way he was raised. But at the same time, that's the way that we raise men. And that's the way that the world was saying this was a man's world. So at one point we raised them this way, but at one point we were raised to know it was this way. So we can't really fault him for the default in him.
Oh, okay, but let me say this.
Wait. No, that was good. Hold on.
Can I say this, baby? Let me say this real quick, because we got to head on to something. Okay, listen. Because my son helped me with things, because he go out here and buy some groceries and leave them on my front door and call me and say, Robin, there's some groceries at the front door. Now, because I raised my son Muslim from birth. This boy came in the world Muslim. He's 26. His birthday, December 27th. Okay? Because my daughters pay a bill for me. Don't make them my leaders. That make them my protectors. Okay?
Again, you're making the words powerful.
Wait a minute. Because they're going to make sure mom is okay. You know what I'm saying? That don't make them my leader. If my son lived in my house and paid every bill for me, okay, that still would not make him my leader. That would make him my protector, because he's helping me out. He's protecting me to make sure I don't lose the house, make sure I can pay my gas, electric bill, cable bill, making sure food, because I'm his mom, so he's protecting me. But when you state and use the word leader, baby, it's disrespectful. That's all I'm saying. Okay. I don't care how you was raised.
Let me ask you a question. Are you a citizen of the United States of America?
Say it again.
Are you a citizen of the United States of America? Does the United States of America have a leader?
Wait a minute. There you go again with the weirdness. We talking about my child.
No, just follow.
We talking about my child. And guess what? They call him their leader. I don't call him my leader.
So look, what you're doing is you're benefiting from the byproduct of leadership, but you don't want to call it leadership.
I may call a leader would be my husband. And I may not even call him my leader. I will call him my partner. But when you start using words like leader, it becomes dictative. Like as if she's doing what I have to be.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be.
No, the
You're
way
making
baby,
it dictated.
you're not even mentally old enough to be nobody's leader.
I literally am.
But you're not. But you're not. That's why.
Am.
Because you know what? I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on what I was about to say. But I'm telling you right now, with what you just said about, are you a United States citizen, right? You sat there in your little mind and thought this up. Are you a United States citizen?
But why does my mind have to be little?
And the president don't do nothing for us. What the president do for us? Nothing. Even
let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Do you have a leader in any sense of the word?
Baby,
please,
you need
Freedom,
to stop.
Sister Freedom, I want to free your mind. Just answer the question.
Listen
Do you have a leader in any sense of the word?
Listen how you talk.
Okay,
you
look.
can never be anybody's leader.
Sister Freedom, with all due respect, this is why when men are speaking, women shouldn't be speaking. Why? Because we have to. No, Sister Freedom, look.
You're so sickening.
No, listen.
So that's why when a woman is speaking, a mother is speaking, her child should not talk.
But Sakina was talking
you
earlier.
Are
Sakina was talking earlier. She allowed people to talk. You're overtaking.
But you're not allowing me to talk. You're not allowing me to talk. I hope you realize that.
That's not true.
When Sakina was talking, you was quiet.
I never said.
The moment I open my mouth, you want to talk.
Yeah,
you can't free my mouth.
Because you're not a leader.
No, I'm leading
you're not
you.
And you're not qualified to sit at the table of leaders.
I am a leader.
You're not qualified
to sit at the table of
leaders.
Leader. I just know your shit. I've seen your kind before. You're manipulative and
call your son, tell him he's doing a good job, and let him know he is your leader. Because he is
You're cunning and manipulative.
Doesn't matter what you say. You're reaping the benefits of leadership, but you don't want to call it leadership.
Honey, stop. It doesn't go anywhere with me.
Look, with all
you
respect,
will never win.
We can't do this all day.
You will leave before you
Freedom. We can't do this all day. Get the
you
last
will
word.
Leave before you win with me. Before you win with me, you will leave first.
I don't want to win.
You can never deal with me because you can never be my leader.
I don't want to win.
Too manipulative.
I don't want to win.
You cause an argument all the time, all day long.
That's a good answer.
I don't want to win.
Don't want to win. Yes.
You can't win because you can't. Because you can't. I'm a leader. I'm a whole Taurus. You a damn Sagittarius. You can never win with me. I can see you're transparent. I can see straight through you.
I'm a good dude.
You never win with me.
I'm a good dude.
That's it.
I'm responsible.
Stop talking like that. Then.
And I solve problems before they arrive at my doorstep. That's what I do. It's called leadership.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Let me tell you, if you want to talk about leadership, don't nobody do nothing for me. Okay,
you just said home brings groceries to your doorstep.
Hold on.
My house,
Mr. Faisal, you know leadership, right? Is not spread the same way across the board. That's the leadership that you know of. The leadership.
I agree that not all leadership is the same. I agree 100%.
A boy trying to walk in man's shoes and it ain't working.
It is working. It's working. He's too manipulative. It's working. It will continue to work. And with all due respect, Sister Freedom, whether you like it or not, it's going to be that way. Get over it. Relax. Calm down. You're going to be just fine. You're going to be just fine. There's no
Your mama got to deal with you calling her. You're her leader.
And
how do your woman got to deal with you?
Guess what?
Yo, hold on. This is starting to get personal, and we don't need to go there.
No, when I said that, because he said he's his mama leader. She got to deal with him, not me.
I am.
And that's my sister in Islam. But I'm mad because he said that about her. He could say he's her protector.
Sister Freedom. Your sons are your leaders.
Hold on, real quick. Hold on, man. Because long as you keep jumping in, and I'm trying to listen to her real quick, then I'm gonna listen to you, and then we're gonna move on. But long as y'all keep going back and forth, man, it's gonna go somewhere else.
That's because he want to be my man, not my son. He don't want to be my son. He want to be my man. That's what he want to do. He want to be my man. He can't be my man.
Sister Freedom,
he want to be. You be my son. You can't be my man. You can't be my man.
We understand where he comes from. So it's not nothing that you can say. There's no reason to get aroused. There's no reason to get mad because it's not nothing that you can say that his mama ain't already told him, or his grandmama ain't already told him, that didn't change his mind, that you can do to change his mind. So let's just leave it at like that.
I mean, how he treats me is what I'm trying to change.
Don't even waste it. You know, it's all about opinion right now. The topic is about opinion. You know what I mean? It's about opinion.
But he can't be my man.
It's not for us to go. It's not for us to go deeper into our belief system and stuff like that. You give your answer and let's go around. So you know what I mean? I'm gonna pick up where I left off at. Sakina, you was here first before Gemini. So I know you answered it earlier, but to you, are men and women equal? And just give a quick little dialogue of it, and then Gemini, you come right on in. Sister Freedom already gave us her answer, and then I think Truist is down low.
I didn't give my answer.
No, we're not treated. We've never been treated equal.
Not treated. I didn't add treated. I said, are we equal? I'm not giving certain situations right now. I'm just speaking in general. And I don't want you to just give me a quick answer. I want you to think about my question now. This is
men and women are not equal. We were never designed equal. We're not equal in no shape, form, or fashion. The answer is no.
Okay. All right. Sister Freedom, go ahead. Since you say you never answer.
I think that we are equal, but we're not treated equal.
Gemini, what you think?
No, I think by design, we are not even created equally. I think what can be misconstrued as equal is a strength or a weakness, depending on if it's male or female.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Kind of like there may be some things, that may look equal, but when you're talking about the scale of things, if we were to begin to spell it out, some men would be like, I never knew women did that, and same vice versa. We'd have the same reaction with men.
So are you saying, just be clear though, are you saying that we are equal but not treated equal?
No, I'm saying just our makeup in general. It's not even there. It may seem equal. Like let's say we went down the board and men were made with 50 things, women were made with 50 things, depending on if it's male or female, who carries the brunt of it. It's not going to look equal at all. We can carry babies. They can only create the babies, help in the creation of the babies. We carry the baby. So, it's and if a man were to see that, right, they would be like, oh, good God damn, it's a good thing I'm not a woman. But is it equal? Yeah, because that's what we were designed to do. But in the same breath, depending on who has to carry it, the weight of what you're calling equality, it may not be so equal after all.
Okay.
And that's correct.
That's Truist down low. What's up, bro?
What's up, brother?
Nephew?
What's going on?
RTG,
RTG gang. Hey, what you think about that, Truist?
So I think when it comes to the question, kind of like how you just said, I think this question deals with belief, honestly. Like you said, you don't want to talk about people's beliefs, but I don't think you can talk about this subject matter without discussing your beliefs, because your beliefs are going to shape what you think a man and a woman is. Your beliefs are going to shape what you think equality is. And this is why I think, as you said, a brother who subscribes to what the Islamic brother had just said, they may hold that belief based off of what their mother, their father, and everyone in their family subscribe to in their beliefs. But me personally, to answer it for myself, I think we are not equal, right, in the sense that we have clear biological differences, right? However, the way we civilize society, we created it so we try to have equity. So like equity is more so where everyone has accesses to certain roles and resources and positions, so that each person has a role that makes their value to that society ultimately equal. So women have certain roles in our Western society that make their position next to a man equitable, right? But at the end of the day, are we equal on a biological or even societal sense? Not quite exactly, but in terms of the value and role we play to our societies, and even when it comes to reproduction, the raising of children, we have equity in our specific roles.
Right, thank you, brother. I like that. And the reason why I let you go that long is because you just came on, and you know, I want to welcome my brother James Brown Jr. to the show, man. And I want you to go ahead. You can introduce yourself, man, if you want to, but I want you to go ahead and answer that question too, man. Oh, he dropped off?
He dropped off, yeah.
Okay, he probably coming right back on, man. But that's a new brother to the show, man. So pretty much what I'm hearing is we're not the same because we don't have the same opportunity. We're not the same because we physically different in some aspects. Mentally, we could be the same. Or either it could be vice versa, where the woman lean more. We hearing that men causes the unbalance in the world. But we hear that woman causes the real balance, where her role in life is to cause a real balance in the world or whatever. Religion plays a major part in our whole thought pattern to this. We can be equal in our roles, but that doesn't mean we equal as far as equality rise or whatever like that. But
you know what you left out?
The whole thing that sums it all up is that everybody is taking a religious point of view to this question.
There's a way to look at this that isn't religious, right? So let's say, for example, you have 6 people and they're all going to vote on an issue. Everyone has one equal vote. If the split goes 3-3, you have a stalemate. So in order to have continuity and function, you have to break equality. And that's why I was that's why I was saying earlier, equality is not even important. You can have a balanced society with the opposite of equality. What you need is order. In order to have order, you need a hierarchy. Just because you're on the lower end of this hierarchy does not mean that you're not valued. Does not mean that to violate you is somehow warranted. That's not correct. So in order for there to be balance, you actually have to.
Did you send her the email?
Are you talking to me?
No. I was talking. I'm sorry. I talked.
No, try it again, Freedom. Try it again.
Did you send the email to Dulcinea?
I did.
She said she didn't get it. Well, Sakina, can you send the email to both of y'all? One of y'all.
Send the email where?
To Dulcinea.
No, so she can do for the debate
thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me grab it with my phone.
Because I only sent her what I had.
Yeah, matter of fact, let's not forget about the debate that's coming up, man. Our sister Dulcinea against our the power, man.
Yes, let me paste that in y'all
one
chat.
Y'all can post that and we can go ahead and put it on the big screen, man. I think it's gonna be a great debate.
It's gonna be a perfect debate.
It's gonna put debate in a whole nother league. You know what I mean? And
it's gonna be epic.
Yeah, definitely. I hope those.
This is a good topic, though. We can do number 2, the second to this OTK on Unscrambled Minds. You ever been on there?
I don't see it. He didn't send me an email yet.
Oh.
Okay, he only sent.
Yes. Have you ever been on brother? Have you ever been on Unscrambled Minds yet?
Me? I was in the chat a couple times. Maybe I listened for about 30-40 minutes, so maybe once or twice.
Come up whenever you want to.
Okay. Yeah, it's no problem. I can definitely come in and.
We should do number 2 on Unscrambled Minds, and if you want to
tonight.
Sure. Oh, tonight. I can. Yeah, if you want to start it up, later on, I could stay on until like 11:30 for sure. If that's what you want.
Oh, I don't know if we might have to wait till tomorrow then, because it's gonna get late tonight. We did already talk about it, that we might have to do it tomorrow, Sakina.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
I wanted to just
wait a minute. If y'all don't know, Richard Carrier is going to be on Sinetters at 7.
Yeah.
Because you know he got the debate coming up with Jabari.
Yeah.
Sinetter on right now.
Yeah, but he's just asking questions. But the guy's supposed to come on, I think at 7 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who was talking? Fayon. Go ahead. Finish.
I wanted to ask the brother a question based off of what he said.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Truist.
So, let me ask your perspective on this. Do you think it's possible for equality to exist within a hierarchical system?
Partial equality, yes. If you're in the same horizontal position, then yeah. But what I'm trying to say is that equality is not necessarily the signifier for success, and that if you're not in an equal position, that doesn't mean that you're in a destructive position. You could be at the bottom of the hierarchy and still be a valued member of society. In fact, when I'm talking to my brothers, I always tell them that, look, every position is a valued position. It doesn't matter how people view it, right? Even a janitor, that the janitor is operating in a very critical role. Like when you're in university, when these janitors go on strike, the whole university shuts down. So what people need to do is respect every role, value every role, and as long as that's the case, then equality becomes insignificant. Equality is not a thing to chase after.
Okay. So do you believe, because I hear you and I understand the argument, but that was kind of the same argument that was used here in the United States to justify separate but equal societies, saying that even though we have neighborhoods and areas in the United States that were separate, right, and even though they're not exactly equitable in every demographics neighborhood, right, it was equal, quote unquote, because of kind of what you just said, right? Where just because there isn't exact equality across the board, it still was some sort of order. And you even hear people in the Black community nowadays make arguments saying that we were more successful when we lived that way prior to the Civil Rights Act.
Right. So what I would say is that in order to fix that scenario, what you're going to have to do is modify the distribution. So you don't have to say, hey, look, I got 10 apples and he got 10 apples. If 3 apples is enough for you, getting 6 apples would be a surplus. Getting 8 would be unnecessary. So with slight modifications, you can basically have a society where people are playing different roles. These roles don't have to be equal, but there has to be respect. There has to be value. Not value, but you should be valued. Doesn't matter what position you're in, right? So if you want to talk about equality, I would say maybe equality in respect and equality in being a valued member of society. That might be critically important. But everything else is like, I don't know.
Do you see a difference between
Can I add in something on
and
that? Just before you move on.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you see a difference between equality and balance?
Yeah, something can be balanced even if it's not equal.
So can you give an example of something reaching equilibrium without a balance?
Well, that would be equilibrium, right? But if we step into the psychological space, into the psychological realm, I may not, like I said, if I need 3 apples and I get 6 apples, I shouldn't complain about having 8 apples. So even though someone else has 8 apples, I can say, you know what? He has a super surplus. I have a minor surplus. We both don't care. That imbalance is valid.
So it would be an imbalance.
Yeah, but yeah, there is an imbalance there. But because we're both satisfied and content, we don't need to pay attention to that ultimate imbalance, because
so that's what. But I know I hear you. Like you're saying that you can still have a functioning society with
an imbalance,
with inequality. But
yes.
And now you're saying imbalance. But that's what I was trying to say. Like I can't think of a situation where you would have balance without equality.
Balance without. Okay, so if you have 10 Lamborghinis, are you going to be mad if I have 20?
No, but it would still be in balance.
Okay, but within this imbalance, you and I are fully satisfied to the point where
well,
we,
I'm not
we don't
disagreeing
care
with
about
you.
each
Like,
other's material
people
things.
are satisfied with imbalance all the time. The United States is completely imbalanced,
Right.
but there's a bunch of people that are perfectly fine in this capitalistic structure.
Right. So what I would say is that there's a threshold that once that threshold is crossed, now you're in a major deficit where there is destruction. But as long as we're above that threshold, the imbalance is insignificant according to everyone's standard. Like, for example, people who are super wealthy, once they've enjoyed all the material things there are to enjoy, what do? They start to scale down. They start to give things away for free. Say, oh yeah, you can have that. Doesn't matter. Have that. Doesn't matter. And they just want, they want less, basically, right? So it depends on where balance is and that threshold where it could lead to a greater destruction.
See, and I think you're just trying to clean it up because what he's saying is call an ace and a spade, right? There is a definite imbalance, right? You don't know enough wealthy people. We don't know enough wealthy people collectively to sit and say that that is exactly what it is that's on their mind. That's how they look at things. That's how they do things. We cannot come to a consensus because we are not above that threshold. We can only say what we see. And what we see is definitely an imbalance. And within that imbalance lies inequality. That's what he's saying. But you have to be honest about that.
No. I was very honest. I said from the very beginning that you don't need to have perfect equality in order to have a functioning society. I said that very earlier on. And so now what I'm trying to say is that as long as we're above a certain threshold, then no one's going to look at anyone else for having more than what they have. Right. So as long as you have all of your needs that are being met, you're not necessarily concerned with what someone else has.
So you're okay within the social construct because you're okay, is what I hear you saying. And what you don't realize is that when you are inside the bubble for so long that you start to miss, that's the reason why people still kill and take other things, right? So people are out here stealing. You have massive robberies. You have all of these. What does the kids do when they call it? When all the kids gather, decide to go together, break inside of the big stores, and wouldn't dare anymore break into the little stores because they know Gucci has insurance. Steal all the Gucci purses. Steal all the. That's what you call an inequality. That is a way beyond the scope of what you're saying. So you're saying
that would make it below the threshold.
You're comfortable.
Right? No. What I'm saying is,
let's cut through the chase. You're saying you're comfortable and you're okay with the social construct. Because there's a lot of other people that is not comfortable, and you see them on the news every day.
No, what I'm saying is that there's a minimum threshold that must be met. Once we're above that threshold, the imbalance doesn't matter. Once you're below that threshold, that imbalance will cause destruction.
So how is the threshold determined? Who determines
satisfaction?
Okay, but as we know, satisfaction is contingent upon the person experiencing it.
I agree.
Facts.
I agree. So let's do an experiment, Truist. Let's do an experiment. You have 10 Lamborghinis. I have 15 Lamborghinis. Are you going to worry about my extra 5 or yes or no?
No.
There you go.
I'll answer. Me personally, I would be jumping up with my hands in the air if I had one.
No. But man, listen, that's a very shallow, surface level way of thinking about it.
Sure, it really is because the first example was much better. What he said about the apples.
Well, it's the same Lamborghini and Apple's the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing because the mindset.
When you form these questions, Faisal, you need to actually juxtapose them to the society in the function and necessity of the Lamborghinis. So let's say there was a situation where a family or a household, let's say, and since it's a hypothetical, let's say Lamborghini is just the normal vehicle. Let's say it's 2060 or 2080, who knows what year. And let's say there's actually a necessity for 11 or even 10 Lamborghinis. But now because you have 15, it still gives you a competitive advantage over the next one, which disadvantages the people who you're competing against, or Truist in this example. So when you're using this surplus example, you're basing it off of a society where the threshold is significantly lower, right?
Yeah.
But let's say that No, but that's not a baseline level that you just used as an
No,
example.
no.
That's
The
an
point
example where the
the thing.
threshold is completely way below the example you used.
No.
Now let's pull the threshold up to the level that Truist is at. His head is barely above water at this point.
Right,
So
but
he
you're
may
agreeing
not
with what I
actually-
said, though.
No, but I'm pointing out to you that he may not actually be jumping in the air celebrating.
Right. But that's what I said. Like,
he might actually be feeling like he's on the brink of falling below that threshold.
But why are you talking? Why are you talking about how he feels when he?
You muted yourself. But I'm throwing in another explanation because the example you're using is one, it's completely unrealistic, and
No,
two,
it's not.
Yes, it is, and two, it doesn't take in it's unrealistic because you're talking about satisfaction level, right? And
Yes.
you talked about a threshold. You used an example of someone having 10 Lamborghinis and you having 15. What I'm saying is the threshold that we live in today of society is significantly lower than anyone.
But that's
owning,
not my. I never
it's significantly lower than anyone owning 10 Lamborghinis.
Yeah, but why are you putting that position on me?
You keep muting yourself or whatever. What I'm saying is raise the threshold up to that baseline level of, let's say everyone owns 10 Lamborghinis. For what reason? We don't know. There could be some crazy circumstance where 10 Lamborghinis is just the norm. It's still a imbalance where people who only have 10 might feel like they are on the brink of not surviving. That's all I'm saying.
Can I ask a question? Are we still on, are the men and the women equal? Because remember, I made the statement about, yes, they are. Now, everything in the world has a balance. You make a child, we create it in the womb. Everything, no matter what the situation is, everything is balanced. Where I may be weak, you may be strong. Where I may be strong, you may be weak. I'm just saying, I don't see why. Well, we can't compare our body structures because you do one thing with yours and I do the other thing with mine.
I just come together.
But yes.
Yeah, that's the balance.
Everything. So I don't see why things aren't equal unless we humans make them unequal by saying one is greater than the other. But in our reality, we're not. Neither one of us is greater than the other. We have two different
but we're talking about resources, though, Freedom. We're talking about this
exactly.
Wait a minute. I can't even focus mentally when this happens.
Okay, go ahead.
What I'm saying is, if we're still talking about the equality of a woman and a man, the only time it becomes inequality is when women and men make it unequal by saying one is greater than the other. There it be resources, it be because like me and Skinny was saying at first, it was meant for women to be beneath men for whatever reason they chose for it to happen that way, because at one time women were actually on top of men, so what I'm trying to say is everything is equal. We are the entities that make it unequal, but really and truly you're what I'm saying, you're not no more than I am and I'm not no more than you are. We just have different positions.
OTK.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, because remember we talked about a word. We talked about a word that we were supposed to bring into this conversation. You never brought the word up. I think now is a good time to introduce that concept.
So now, like I said, man, when I asked the question from the jump, I already know everybody was gonna have a quick answer, yes or no. But I wanted people to start thinking. Like, let's think beyond that. The only reason why we're saying yes or no is because all of the examples that I hear now and all the examples that I'm hearing right now are examples that are measuring capability or stuff like that. But let's be for real. What is a woman and a man's purpose? Don't our purpose make us equal?
Yeah.
Doesn't our purpose make us equal? I heard that Truist touched on something earlier. Faisal also touched on something earlier. Gemini did too. As a matter of fact, everybody did. They touched all around it earlier. But the whole thing about my question is, when we think about the purpose of a woman and the purpose of a man, aren't we equal?
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so I just said
and I want to
exactly
go
what you're
around the board. Sister Freedom, you can start, and I'll start with you, Sister Freedom, and we'll go ahead around the board and pass it around.
Thank you. You pretty much said exactly what I'm saying. We are equal with two different positions that, and the purpose is to procreate. Okay, so we need one or the other. We need one and both to do the same, to procreate. We need each other to procreate. I mean, I don't see we each other's partners. We need each other for almost everything.
So
Emotion,
words,
everything.
We share an equal role in life.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Okay.
Human life for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what I was trying to say. Only humans make it unequal by saying one is greater than the other, when really and truly we're not greater than the other.
Right. So that's where the categorizations and all that come into play. So
yes,
Sakina,
we know about that.
Yeah. And so we're and that's where in Mayat we have what we call Mayat is balance, and that's what duality is, because Mayat includes Isfit, and Isfit is the opposite of Mayat, because you cannot say Mayat is only good. Isfit is the opposite, saying that it good and evil. So that's the balance. When we have the male figure, we know that he provides one part and the female provides the other part. So that's like we saying a puzzle. The puzzle has two pieces to make it complete.
Fit together,
So
right?
exactly. So if one part is missing, then the puzzle is not complete until you have the other part. And that's what makes duality. You have to have both pieces to make it whole. And that's why when you get married, the ring doesn't have a part that's missing. It's a whole circle. It's a completion. And so that's what makes this thing complete with both parts. That what makes it strength. You see, is there strength in numbers? You right? They said two's a company, three's a crowd. But when we talk about that third part, we're looking at a family. And so this is the strength in numbers. So I can go on and on with it, but we're only talking about what makes it equal. So you know what I'm saying? So when we talk about the strength and making it equal, there's no comparison where one is weak, the other makes it strong. But we say the woman was a helpmate, right? Because he cannot be strong by himself. She's there as a mate. A mate. This is a partnership, a mate, the relation to make these things whole.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So a primary is one by itself, but two primes make it a whole. That changes the number. So I could go on and on, but why should I?
Right.
I'm right. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Gemini, you still with me, Sis Queen?
Oh yeah, I'm still
Okay.
here.
So what my logic for my whole purpose of asking this question, you understand now why I asked this question: are men and women equal?
Yeah.
And what do you think about that?
Yeah, I totally get it. I would be inclined to agree with Sakina on we complement each other. So then if we're looking at just, by the way we're born, then we're born as persons, and we're born equal. But then as we start to, peel away certain layers, then we begin to see lots of major differences. The thing of it is are we okay? And whose big idea was it to say, hey, look at the way the woman's physiology, her biology, and look at her physiology. Is it that's weaker than us? Now, was that on purpose? Was that or by design, or was there was there an actual necessity to separate a man from a woman? Was it true protection that this man just said, hey, you know what? She is dainty, she is feminine, she is wise, she is different from me. I recognize that. She is the person that I want to protect. and also understanding that you come from the womb of a woman, which would be, the mother, the grandmother. When did we decide that we were going to be a protected class? What was the real reason? And when did it become misconstrued?
Right. That's another question. And I love that point. That's a great, and see, that's why I love to ask questions like this. It's really an open-ended question. It can go on and on and on. You know what I mean? But the reason why we ask this specific question today is because you got to look at where I'm coming from and where Jay is coming from. It's our purpose of life, to human life. Are we not equal when it comes down to human life? And that's what I was hoping, somebody might have gone straight into that, but y'all did touch around it. So I'm glad, though. That is a great conversation. So Faisal, I'm gonna let you go ahead and, man, because we started off the show with you and we let you go in, and I kind of shivered around what my whole intent of the question was, because I wanted your input, my brother. But now that you know my whole intent of the question, because remember I told you, this me. So think outside the box when it's me, man. I just don't ask questions for no reason. So now that you know my reasoning on my question, what do you think about that?
Just to respond to the idea that are our lives equal, and as tempting it is for me to say yes, the answer is probably not, because when we talk about war, we say men go to war, women don't go to war. So in that case, our lives aren't even being evaluated equally. If we're on a plane and we crash, we say women and children out first. So our lives are not valued equally, right?
See, you're still giving
You
me
moved it a
examples.
little bit. Yeah,
I want you to stay within what I'm saying.
No, I'm going to answer your question. I was
Hold up, bro. Listen, a woman's purpose and a man's purpose is for them to be here. It's a purpose why a woman is here. It's a purpose why a man is here. For human life. Are their roles not equal? See, now you're going into strength and abilities and all of this stuff like that.
Earlier you were
strictly the way that we are made. Is a woman not made equally and sound with a man as far as our purpose in life?
Okay, so in order to answer that question, which I was going to do, what I would say is this: our purpose in life, just based off of this definition, hinges upon the reason in which we were created, or the reason in which we exist. What is that reason? So if we're going to look at this from an atheistic perspective, there may not be a reason. And if there's no reason, then there is no purpose. If there is a creator, then our purpose can only be determined by the creator. We cannot create.
I don't agree with that as an atheist, but I'll explain after.
Yeah, but that is
you
not
would or
true,
wouldn't agree with that.
Now
no, I wouldn't agree with that, but I'll answer after.
Yeah, I don't even trying to see through an atheistic lens. I wouldn't agree with that.
How so?
Because there's still a practicality to things in our existence. You can't just throw that out and
is
only
practicality
say
purpose.
I'll tell you.
Hold on, because he always conflating shit and you know what I mean. You always be trying to cross things that ain't even.
That's how you have to do it. That's how
you are doing that shit. You play those games and confuse them. I'm being very clear.
That's called being rigorous and being an intellectual.
No, you're not being rigorous.
I literally am being rigorous.
That's being disingenuous to the conversation.
Disingenuous? What?
Yes, to the conversation at hand. Because
all right, let me answer your question. What was it? Let me give you a clear answer if that's what you want. No. OTK, you want me to answer the way you want me to answer it? Ask the question, I'll answer it.
No. I want you to answer truthfully without.
I just gave you the greatest truth, but you guys are calling it disingenuous, manipulative.
You irritate me now, dog. You taking too long. Let's move on, man. Seriously, let's just move on.
Okay, true.
Go ahead, man.
Okay, so actually, when he brought up the atheist perspective, as the resident atheist, I will tell you to actually hold the position that the purpose of life, especially human life, is solely to procreate. That would be the atheist perspective, because it's actually the believer in creationist perspective that the creator created us with other purposes outside of that, such as taking dominion of the earth, such as living righteously, such as having morals and ethics, right? It's actually the atheist hardcore biologist perspective that says, hey, outside of human life, we can look into the animal kingdom, right? We can look into other things in nature, and we can see that they all reproduce. So therefore, from a hardcore biologist that is an atheist, he would look to say, okay, therefore our
OTK, you got to mute your device. Yeah, there's an echo. Sorry, Truist. OTK, you got to mute that.
It would actually be the hardcore atheist
that
would
would finish.
say.
Let him finish.
It would actually be the hardcore atheist that says our only purpose is to procreate. So to answer the question, when we're talking about in terms of what is the purpose of men and women, right? I don't think our only purpose is to procreate. I think it's one of the many purposes that we do have as human beings, right? But to argue it was the only purpose would be there to say that any man and woman that does not have children are not living their life with a purpose. And I don't think that's fair.
Truist, you're making a mistake.
So wait, let me finish, brother. So I can, as I said, I can look to the animal kingdom and look at male and female lions, tigers, all sorts of that also procreate. But what separates us as humans, right? Because we're not just a man and a woman, right? It's more than just being a male, right? There are no men tigers. There's no women tigers. There's male tigers. There's female tigers. But what makes you a man and what makes you a woman is the civilization that comes with it. You being a civilized, sociable creature that has purposes outside of just procreating. Being a just person, raising a family, raising children all the way past.
You're romanticizing existence.
No, wait, let me finish, brother. The only way we get to these terms, such as men and women, is via becoming civilized. You don't have terms like man and woman without a socialized, civilized society, right? Otherwise, we would just be male and female like everything else in nature, right? So this is what I'm saying. Being a man and woman, we can't just stop it solely at procreation. No. When we're talking about civilized, higher thinking, higher learning beings, our purpose is larger than that.
No, that's not correct.
Yeah, I agree with about 90% of that, Truist. That was really good. I think I only have minute differences that aren't worth saying because I think as you continue to speak, it got better for me. So, but go ahead, Faisal.
So everything you just said, Truist, and Truist, look, I respect you. And you know, we had a long conversation the other day or whatever after they all left. But what you're doing is you're conflating biological imperative with purpose. These are not the same things. You are romanticizing our existence, talking about civility, talking about this and that. The reality is what I said earlier is the truth. And if you can't fathom that and it irritates you, bro, I really don't even need to be here. Every time I give you what is my opinion, and I'm telling you now, that is the correct opinion. If you can't fathom it, don't tell me I'm irritating. Just say, you know what, bro, we don't get along. Let me be on my way. I'm helping you, literally.
I never said you were irritated.
No, I was talking to Jay. This guy basically said I'm irritating him.
You said Truist's name, bro.
No. I was talking to Truist in the beginning, but then I shifted over in response to what you did. That's what I'm coming.
Get out your feelings, man.
No, bro. Here's my feelings. You say I'm irritating you and you mute me. Do that shit again.
Get the fuck out. How about that? I just did it. How about I kick you out? Bye. The fuck? Get out your feelings, soft ass nigga.
Oh wow.
Like somebody needs you, nigga.
Yeah.
The fuck?
That was a lot.
Yeah, like what the? Like, come on, my dog. Like,
he was talking to Truist, but he was talking about you.
Right. He's saying Truist's name, but then I'm like, why is he coming at? He don't even know what he's saying. He incoherent.
He don't know what
right
he's saying.
now.
Yeah, I mean, here's what I don't understand. He's a theist, so as I said, most theists You can't. I'm sure if you look in the Quran, if you look in the Bible, if you look at any religion, right? No major religion is going to say that their God created them with the sole purpose only to procreate. Every creator in these belief systems created humanity with purposes solely procreating, right? Now, it is one of the purposes, but it's actually an atheistic position to think that our only purpose is to procreate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just gonna. You kind of cleaned it up. That's why I didn't really respond. But you said something about, you would kind of disagree with that position a little bit, because then for people who can't procreate, then they essentially have no purpose, right? You said something like that.
Yeah, I was saying if you hold the belief that our sole purpose as humanity is to procreate, a person with that mindset would have to assume that anyone that does not procreate are not living their life to its purpose.
Okay, I would ask you, is there a distinction between man/woman and humanity?
So man and women only come with humanity, because we can't look to anything else in nature and designate it as man and woman. These terms only apply to human beings.
Right. But I'm asking you, is there a distinction though? Like, if I say human, is that always the same as man? And if I say human, is that always the same as woman?
No,
it's not. All right. So yeah, but what I was going to say is, I don't think this conversation is so much about individuals. I think it has to do with the classifications as a whole. Me and OTK wasn't really trying to go into like individual purpose. We were looking at it from a general sense, a man and a woman, not Jacob and Christina and Michael and Erica. We weren't looking at it like that. We were just thinking man and woman. But where you cleaned it up for me is when you made the distinction between man and male and woman and female. Then I said, okay, now I understand his point better, because you can make the argument that man and woman is a social construct, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that,
right?
Truist?
But here's the thing: I think it's a social construct that is needed, because to me, a man is an adult male, and a woman is an adult female. So yes, these are social constructs we created, but we created them to kind of designate a civilized nature, and this is why people will get offended if you call them a male or if you call them a female, because it's like it's almost like you're calling them animal or a beast or uncivilized.
Well,
can I say something now?
Weak. You're calling them weak. And that's why I said, who decided, right? At what
How
point?
you calling them weak? I'm confused.
Yeah, and so exactly. So at what point did man say, oh, you know what? Let's start protecting them versus seeing them like we see ourselves. So there has to be some sort of beginning distinction. Where that came from, I do not know. Of course, people added on to that, as time began, but there is a clear, distinction between male and female. We have longer hair, sometimes softer skin. We have our features are very different from that of a male. So we smell different. So again, at what point did male, see female and say, we notice a difference.
We talking about today, though. Do we know that the male and the female look different from each other back then?
What you trying to say? We primates? We apes? LTK?
No,
what you saying?
I'm just saying from the humanoid, from the humanoid. I mean, our predecessors. Who came before our ancestors? That came before us. Do we know that they had the same phenotypes that we have today, or the same attributes that we have today, to where we can distinguish the difference between a man and woman? Because we got to admit, it's some
this is
people
getting
out
off
here
track
that when
here
you
somewhere.
when you do lookership, we got to admit sometimes it's from a distance a person can look like something that they're not.
Can I say this though? TK, this is getting off track. Let me say this to us. Now, you do realize that we look different because we have different purposes, but yet we are still equal. We have different positions and purposes. We have breasts because we're supposed to feed our babies. Men has a penis because he holds the seed that, I mean, I don't. We need
but with that right there, Freedom, that's my point. Just stop right there for a second. No, just leave it with the breast thing, right? Did men see females and say, hey, you know what? They have plumper breasts. This is useful for feeding the children. Let's start
protecting men say it,
right? Because hold on, because to be quite honest, before we got into what we now have, right, this where we can totally be comfortable with some measure of equality. If the house was on fire, right, the women and children got out, but if it was, let me finish. But if it was war, right,
because women run inside their house and get their baby with the house full of fire.
Hold on. So, but if there was war, right, then sometimes you would need the women to not hide, but to kind of like, okay, women, what are y'all have to protect yourselves because we are going away too, right? So that's the only time where you see really some sort of measure of equality is in war. But
no,
after war passes,
Gemini, you gotta let me finish.
We're in a blessed time.
That's weirdness.
Men
it's
begin
on a complete different
women,
subject.
Then men begin to see women different, just based on leadership.
Listen, I need to stay on the narrative that I'm staying on. Moving it on to who's running in the house being on fire and all that.
We get what you're saying. Hold on, we get what you're saying, but it's just a little bit.
You're not letting me finish. You just
deeper.
Why is
because you're not really interested in having a conversation. You're interested.
No, I'm trying to, but I'd like to finish, and I don't want to be. You know what I'm saying? Just let me finish, please.
Right. You're passionate.
I'm passionate because you keep. Okay. I don't want the narrative move to a physical thing. I can't. Not with listen. She's not messing with me. It just shows something, and I don't want that to show.
It don't show nothing. See, look how mad she gets. She gets so
talking about
boy. She go to 1,000 on you.
Yeah, right. And I just show the love, Sister Freedom.
No, what it shows
go ahead, Sister Freedom.
Okay, well, thank you. Because if I'm talking about the physical, the equality of you a man and I'm a woman, and we have separate things for different positions, but yet equal because we need each other. Can't do it without me. I can't do it without you. We equal. Now, if you scoop over, and Truist was saying something about purpose in life. What purpose in life is to procreate. Now, I'm sorry that some people can't do it, but maybe they can still be a mother to a child. You see what I'm saying? But the purpose in life to make all this happen, we would need to procreate. We definitely would need to procreate. That's a fact. You kiss.
I would say that
you can't build the world with just two people. So the purpose, if creation, nature, however you want to call it, made a female and a male, is because they wanted the world to populate, to procreate more of that particular species. Can't just be on the world. And
I don't disagree with you, but are you saying that's our only purpose?
Oh no, I did not say that.
No. Okay, that was the only thing. That's the only thing I was saying. Like I do think procreation is a major one of the major purposes we have, right? But I don't think it's the only purpose we have.
Of course not. It can't be the only one because we gotta raise the child and grow and build the world.
Yeah, so besides that,
right, so if every human being, Truist, I'm glad you say that real quick.
And wait a minute, let me finish.
Real quick, hold on, Sister Freedom. Truist, real quick. I want you to go into this when you go to talking real quick. So, what is some other purposes of men?
This is what I wanted to say. I just want, if I be able to.
I like where she was going. I want to hear Sister Freedom though, because she started off real good.
Because what that does is when you hold up and all that, it messes up the thought of the person. what I'm trying to say is this. When he said not the only purpose, can't be the only purpose, because we had to build, we had to educate, we had to grow our children up. I mean, it can't be the only purpose in life. You know, we're here, so there is definitely other purposes, but believe me, procreating is the main purpose for a man and a woman. It just is. No matter what your race is, no matter what, even if you was an animal, your purpose is still to procreate, to make more of. So that kind of, yeah. Now, what Gemini is talking about is still different positions, but yet equal. You might be the fireman to the truck, but I'm the secretary who's getting the call to tell you to go and pull out the fire.
That's not what I'm talking about at all.
Okay. Even if the house was on fire, you can best believe mama running up in that house. We don't need no man. If my child in the house, I'm running up in there. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? It's just, you know, some things a man and a woman both will do. And then some things a man does, but the woman helps out, or the woman does and the man helps out. No matter how you look at it, no matter how it's done. It's like, you give me a house, I make it a home. You give me sperm, I give you back a baby. You know what I'm saying? It's like hand on hand type thing. If we as a people start saying one is greater than the other, then we have completely started a fire. We've completely started a problem, because we need each other for particular things. It ain't just no one thing.
I kind of want to expound on that. Because if you say, if you build a castle, and
I make it a home. If you build the house, I make it a home.
Right, but
you
then
bring home the steak and I'll cook it.
And at the same time, this is where I established inside the kingdom, and on the outside, you provide the protection of the kingdom. Now, this is where sometimes where this gets twisted, because if the king cannot feel like a king in that castle, because the queen feels like she also wears the pants, or she also can stand up.
That's changing the goalposts.
No, we're not, because this is where.
How did that happen?
Hold on, let me finish. Because this is where they asking, are men and women equal? So when women feel like she's just as much as he, then if he can't be the king in his castle, right? Because you feel like you do just as much, then that's where the problem lies. This is where they asking, are men and women equal? Now,
that's not what he's talking about.
Hold on, wait a minute, let me finish. Because this is the problem. This is where they're asking, are men and women equal? Now, if a man provides the castle and he's the protector, and again, we talking about duality. So when you are gone, yes, I do protect the castle, right? That you provide the protection for. And when you are gone, I provide protection for. But when you are back, I am no longer providing protection for the outside or in, because you provide this protection. Again, I'm providing comfort. That's our job. We provide comfort and protection on an in our inner being thought and our inner being protection for far as food, clothing, and whatnot, because he provides shelter and protection. Now, when we start to challenge that, that's making it seem like we are equal. And if he feels that you are equal in that manner, then he steps along and move along, because you are now challenging that. And that is where we say, are men and women equal? No, we are not.
And that's what religion and power have done to
No,
these
that's
men.
not what religion
They
and
say
power.
that
That's
they're
know,
leaders,
freedom. There are
that they're
protected
leaders
classes
and
of
no,
people.
that's not having nothing
You
to
know
do
that
with.
That
legally.
did change the
No,
goalposts.
no.
You
This
have to
is
have
It changed
not.
the
protected classes
goalposts.
of people.
That came from mind manipulation to
Exactly,
make
from
somebody feel
women.
so
That
that
has
they're your
nothing
leader.
to do. See what I'm saying? We can't blame everybody for what we personally take
Oh my
on for
God, it's already
ourselves.
there now. They already believe that they're better and more and powerful
No,
more
then
than the
you
women
start
are.
to believe different, and then you let outside influences put that in your head,
And
and
who's
then
it?
you
Mine
start.
personally or
See
the
what I'm
world?
saying? So
I
when we
agree with
start
that
to
one, Sakina.
take
I
in
know you
these
do. You
outside
would. You would.
influences,
Y'all on the same
then we
level of
no,
thinking. You
we're
would.
not. We going against
Right.
the
We're,
grain for
we're the
the
low
better of
budget and she's the high
ourselves.
budget.
We start
It
to
did
take on.
change the goalposts, and if you don't
No,
see
we're
the
not changing the goalposts.
you
We're
are.
staying
You
on
changed
the
the
same.
subject.
No, I'm not.
Okay.